videos about the Marvel Universe, starting with the top 10 superheroes. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51. Now, how about we start from the beginning? Gudang point in. Video point. Banner made a gesture of swallowing point. He was obviously frightened by this seemingly amiable mage point, so I put down my body and asked him, I beg you, I can't help you, Bruce. If I give you the time stone to save your reality, then our place will suffer disaster. Let me take the liberty of saying that according to scientific theory, your statement should not be supported. Soon. Ancient One explained it to Banner. If the time stone leaves this timeline, it will cause a butterfly effect and the direction may change. Although the audience watched in confusion. But they understood one thing. That is why it is impossible for the Ancient One Master to lend them the time stone. You have missed one of the most important issues. If you want to return these gems, you must survive. That's right. No matter how reasonable Banner's explanation is, but if you borrow the gems and fail to win the final victory. Then everything will be empty talk. Not only will the future world remain the same. And the world here is in danger because of the disappearance of the gems. I promise. I can't take such a big risk just because of your guarantee. The Supreme Mage's accusation is to protect the time stone. Go. Yi said calmly. Apparently he was not moved by Banner's spirit. When Banner heard this, he shook his head and said anxiously and angrily, then why did Strange hand it over? What did you say? Strange handed over the time stone to Thanos. Voluntary. Yes. Why? I don't know. Maybe he made a mistake. See here. Everyone's eyes lit up. They discovered that the Ancient One actually started to waver. Then their pupils dilated dramatically. I actually heard Guyi say this after staring at Banner for a while. Maybe I'm wrong. I saw Ancient One fuse the Hulk's body and soul again, then take out the time stone, and then said, Strange is the most outstanding of our Supreme Mage, so there must be a reason why he does this. The Ancient One placed the time stone in the Hulk's hand. Boom, boom, boom. The hearts of countless people are beating. They didn't expect Master Ancient One to be so resistant to handing over the time stone at first. But after learning that Stephen Strange had handed over the time stone, he handed over the time stone without hesitation. What does this mean? This represents Master Ancient One's unparalleled trust in Strange. Even though he couldn't see the outcome. But he still chose to believe in Strange's choice. It turned out that the Ancient One Master had known for a long time that Stephen Strange would become the Supreme Mage, and he believed in him so much. It is precisely because he believed in Doctor Strange that Master Ancient One died so peacefully. It is precisely because of his belief in Doctor Strange that he handed over the time stone. I said, how could a Hulk get the stone from him? It really is because of Doctor Strange. Fortunately, we now finally know that the time stone was obtained from the Ancient One in the past. What about the other 5 stones? I can't wait to know. And what will be the outcome of the final battlefield? Just when they were crazy looking forward to seeing the follow-up video. The camera zooms out. Until the sky. The ending song played. The Doctor Strange chapter is officially over as the picture freezes in this scene. The hearts of countless people are like countless ants crawling, and they still have more to say. Some people even picked up knives and started rioting. Holy shit, this author. I can't stand it anymore. It makes me hungry every day. That's right. Now we're talking about how one gem came from. Where are the other 5? You should edit it faster. Author, I beg you, please update more. Such a small video is not enough to watch. I'm so angry at being stabbed 1,000 times in the universe. The outcry, the cries, and the complaints were earth-shattering. The expectations of countless people were heightened. Especially knowing the act of going back in time and getting the gem. They are even more looking forward to how they obtained the other 5 gems. The result is at this time. You told me that the video is gone. How can this not make people angry? But they had no choice. Who said they couldn't find the author? However, just when everyone thought that the video would still end with that sentence, a different line of subtitles appeared in everyone's sight. Tomorrow's video, the 5th and 6th heroes will be edited in the same frame, so stay tuned. Hiss. The 5th and 6th heroes are edited in the same frame. Very okay. This author loves me so much. Knowing that I don't have any videos to watch, I edited the 5th and 6th videos together. Who are the 5th and 6th heroes? I'm so looking forward to it. No matter who they are, it's finally fun to watch. Wait a minute, didn't you just say that you wanted to kill the author? Who said that? I'll chop him to death. The author is so cute, he must be locked up in a small dark room. That's right, one more video will give you a bite of rice. Just when the entire universe was once again filled with expectations, the voice of the dimensional platform sounded. Ding. Starting from today, the dimensional platform will open the barrage mode. Kneel down and beg for a ticket. 49. Are you the two gods who were beaten violently by the Hulk? Barrage mode. At this time point Marvel Universe, countless people have yet to react to the joy of the combination of the 5th and 6th videos. When they heard the sound of the dimensional platform, he was stunned for a moment. I don't quite understand what barrage means, but when they saw row after row of subtitles scrolling above the video, they all gasped. It felt like a huge wave had set off in my heart, one wave after another hitting my chest. I was so excited. They had no idea that the barrage was actually this thing. Not only can you see what other people in the universe are saying, and they also switch languages very thoughtfully. Hiss. This new function is so awesome. I can actually see what you are talking about. What? It actually has this function. Why didn't this dimensional platform be launched earlier? It's so interesting. Every time I watch the video, I can only talk to the people around me. Now I can talk to the entire universe. It's so interesting. In the universe, countless people who eat melons are making noises as if they have obtained new toys. However, in other places, they are still immersed in the video just now and have not yet come out. Holy area. Asgard. At this moment. Above the main hall. They all return to their previous joyous singing and laughing. Compared to that moment watching Ragnarok. Chapter 52. It's a world of difference. Hahaha. We finally have hope in Asgard. That's great, isn't that right? Come on. Come on. Drink, drink, drink. As long as we can get this magic, we will definitely be able to survive. Then we will have a big fight with that guy, Thanos. Yes. Let's see if I don't do it. Look at his head. HMPH. This guy looks like a purple potato. Don't let me touch him. Countless people were drunk. It's like being liberated. No wonder they are so happy. After all, they finally see hope. That's right. When they see Doctor Strange using the Dark Book and getting the magic to reverse the absolute point in time. They are happier than anyone else. His face was full of shock and excitement. As long as we can get the magic that Doctor Strange saw. Then you sit at this absolute point in the future. You can avoid Ragnarok. Just thinking about it makes me happy. At the same time, I praise the author of this video in my heart. Not only did he let them know the future, but he also gave them such terrifying magic as Doctor Strange. Thor, go to Earth and bring this magic back. We Asgard can give him generous rewards. Odin sits on the throne. My face is no longer so tight. Obviously, he was also relieved. Thor below heard this. There was also a look of surprise on his face. He has long wanted to visit Earth. Not to mention being able to get the magic to save Asgard. So his face was filled with joy and pride, and he half knelt on the ground and said, "Yes, Father." The god of thunder stood up and was about to leave, but then shifted his gaze to the side, then stretched out his hand and said, "Loki, aren't you going to come with me? Maybe you can learn a lot of magic there." "Going to Earth with you? No, I'm not going to that planet full of stupid humans." Loki looked arrogant. It seems to be mocking the humans on Earth. In fact, I don't want to be with this idiot brother. And after hearing what Loki said, the god of thunder groaned softly and joked, "It seems that you are afraid of the big green guy. In that case, I will go alone." Loki was speechless after several struggles. Indignantly, he follows the footsteps of Thor, heading to the Rainbow Bridge, to Earth. SHIELD in a conference room full of modern technology. Captain America, Tony Stark, Spider-Man, Banner and Black Panther are all sitting here. They watched the Doctor Strange video together until now. Their hearts were extremely heavy. Because they know the future. How difficult is the battle with Thanos? What's more, only 4 videos have been given so far, and the storylines are incomplete. God knows what other difficulties and obstacles they encountered. It's really hard to believe. I didn't expect that. Like Doctor Strange, my soul would be punched out at this time. Banner complained. I feel a little embarrassed. Especially the new barrage function. It also allowed him to see what other people in the universe thought of him. Has the Hulk always been so brave? Filled the screen. He couldn't wait to find a crack in the ground and crawl in. However, just when Banner was ashamed. Others frowned. There are 14 million endings, and only one is victorious. Who is the person who was saved? Who is willing to let that Dr. Mustache hand over the time stone? Tony expressed his concerns. Obviously. He feels the pressure now. Originally, he was thinking of asking Dr. Mustache to borrow the Book of Darkness to browse. But seeing the side effects, he felt that it was not possible unless absolutely necessary. Still can't use it. After all, he didn't even know how many years he had left to live. If you burp as soon as you use it, then the gain outweighs the loss. And hearing his words, Nick Fury also projected a rough timeline onto the top of the screen. Then he said to the Avengers members, first, there is the Battle of New York. The Prince of Asgard will lead the army to the Earth. As for the final outcome, we don't know. Then it will be the end of Asgard. Thanos has 2 gems in his hands, and then as shown in the video just now, Thanos obtained the time stone and owned 5 of them. Later, in Prince T'Challa, the hometown of Black Panther, Wakanda, you can see that Black Panther was wiped out in ashes. So at this point in time, Thanos obtained all the gems. Then there was the subsequent plan to retrieve the gems and go back to the past. Here, this analysis everyone in the Avengers gasped. Now we don't know except for some key battle results. They have been able to deduce a rough timeline. I feel the horror of this author even more in my heart. Insert snippets of each story into the hero inventory video. Then let people sort it out on their own. It is precisely in this way that they are full of expectations. For example, how did Thanos obtain other gems? For example, how did they go back in time and obtain gems? All of this, they want to know. Maybe we should talk to Master Guyi. Just when everyone didn't know what to do. Nick Fury said this. Suddenly everyone's eyes lit up. Yes, the Ancient One Master is now the Supreme Master. Maybe he can give some clues. Think of this, Nick Fury, and everyone set sail for Kamataj. Kamataj. The place of apprenticeship. At this moment. After watching the hidden video. Even if Stephen Strange had thousands of words, he couldn't say them out. They seemed to be stuck in his throat and his heart was congested. He was puzzled, moved, and proud. Wondering why Ancient One believed him so much. Moved Guyi to believe in everything he did. And proudly Ancient One believed that he was the best supreme mage. Stephen was seen looking at Ancient One above. There are thousands of words in my heart. More thanks. But before he could speak. Ancient One this time. The corners of his mouth were finally no longer dull. Instead, it slightly raised its arc. He nodded and said, I know what you want to say, Strange. Now you may no longer need me to guide you. You already know what you need to do, so just let it go. Ancient One finished. Still so detached from the world, he turned around and left. See this scene. Stephen Strange cast a grateful and awed look at him. Then something came to mind. Clicked on the dimensional platform. Chapter 53. Said to him, give the author the Wishon Emperor's book that I will read in the future. The Book of Wishon Emperor contains the most powerful known white magic and offensive magic in the world. The spells it records can never be used offensively, only defensively. Now have the Book of Darkness. Even though he knew he might be heading towards darkness, but he already has the consciousness and the consciousness to save the world and even the universe. He believes that he can overcome the corruption of his soul and overcome the erosion of darkness. So his eyes were bright and clear, getting ready to learn magic. But at this moment, a beam of light fell from the sky, leaving a special mark on the ground. Then a figure of one strong and one thin came out. I know you. You are the 2 gods who were beaten violently by the Hulk, right? Thor, Loki, kneel down and beg for flower tickets 50. The war is about to break out. Buzz in the endless universe. A huge spaceship is cutting through the silent starry sky at extremely fast speeds. It seems that even such a powerful magician will eventually hand over the time stone and surrender to you. At this moment. Ebony throat licking like crazy. Even the tall and thin black dwarf and Dark Knight Proxima Centauri behind them feel inferior, but despite this they are also extremely proud in their hearts, because in the video, Thanos collected 5 Infinity Stones. What a horror. In the next video, you may know how to collect the 6th gem, but the strange thing is that the gem is not in your hands. Ebony Throat analyzed it carefully. He remembered it from the video. The only missing gem is a gem on Thanos' scepter, the Mind Stone. Why did it disappear in the end? He does not know. But he felt there was no need to know. Because in the end, Thanos must have collected all 6 gems. It's probably because of that guy from Asgard. In the video before, I saw him holding a scepter. Maybe he failed, and the scepter was taken away by those low-level humans. Why don't we go now, Earth? Take away the gems from them. Dark Knight Proxima Centauri said coldly. The spear in his hand drew an arc in the air. I can't wait to go to Earth and kill those guys. Quiet. While they were discussing. Thanos above the throne spoke calmly. A wave of intimidating domineering power swept over, make their whole bodies tremble. So then I listened to him say, the guy on Earth, named Ancient One, is still alive. It's not an easy task to snatch the time stone from his hands. However, this video shows his destination. Thanos said calmly. Apparently he has his own plans. That's right. If you invade Rashly. Now he only has the Mind Stone. He was absolutely no match for the supreme mage named Ancient One. Fortunately, the video shows a scene where he will die. This will eliminate the biggest threat. And heard Thanos' words. There was also a chill behind the 3 of them. Only now do they remember that there is still a huge threat hidden on the Earth. So I had to swallow my anger. Wait until Thanos gets the Power Stone before making plans. At this time. Ebony Moore received the message. His whole body was shaking with excitement and he said, Ronan the Accuser has reached cooperation with us and is now able to conduct video calls. Well, turn it on. Thanos spoke calmly. The face of the Accuser Ronan also appeared on the huge screen in front of him. I know you. You are the 2 gods who were beaten violently by the Hulk, right? Kama Touch. The place of apprenticeship. At this moment. Thor and Loki came here. Before coming. Thor also gave Loki a heads up. Tell him to speak less arrogantly. Even though they are gods, but because I want to ask for help from others, so he thought it would be better to be more approachable. But who would have thought. The Stephen Strange in front of him can't help but pick up any pot. Let's talk about how they were beaten violently by the Hulk. How can I bear this? You, Thor, raised his hammer. Look at Stephen Strange. Veins bulged. Clearly extremely angry. My good brother, who just said you can't be angry. Here. Loki's words. Thor took a deep breath. Suppressed his anger. Yes, we are the 2 gods who appeared in the video. You must also know our purpose here. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you should be looking for my magic to reverse the absolute point in time, right? Stephen holds the Book of Darkness in his hand. He said confidently. If it was before. Seeing this scene, even though he was arrogant, he had no confidence in his heart. But it's different now. Even God must be in awe of him. So he raised his head proudly, already thinking that he was Doctor Strange. Yes, for this we in Asgard can provide you with what you need. Here. This Stephen thought it was quite worthwhile. Just when he was thinking about what he needed. Several familiar figures appeared in camouflage. Soon, Thor and Loki's pupils expanded rapidly, and they both turned their attention to that familiar figure. Banner. Wait a minute, that guy seems to be the weak god in the video. At this time. Before Thor and Loki could go berserk. The little spider in the distance also noticed the 2 of them and exclaimed. Everyone in the Avengers also looked this way. When the figures of Thor and Loki came into view. They all assumed fighting postures. Captain America raised his shield. Tony put on the Iron Man suit. Spider-Man put on the Venom suit. T'Challa turned into the Black Panther. And the moment Banner saw Loki, he roared and turned into the Hulk. The momentum was so astonishing that the magic apprentices present stepped back and did not dare to come forward. Is this the guy who invaded the Earth? They remember very clearly that the skinny god will invade the earth with an army of millions in the future. When little Spider proposed to capture this god before everyone thought it was impossible but now I didn't expect that he would deliver it to my door in person. Chapter 54. It seems we are not very popular. Thor, the god of thunder, also assumed a fighting posture even though he knew his brother had done something wrong in the future but they are gods, even the punishment is an internal matter within Asgard it's not the earthlings' turn to intervene. Although I'm very reluctant to fight alongside you, there is nothing we can do about it. These stupid humans. Loki drew his dagger, he said through gritted teeth. Keep an eye on that big guy. Come on, let me see how you get the rewards of the dimensional platform. Thor roared. Rushed out. The war is about to break out. Asking for flower tickets 51. 5th and 6th place. Wanda and Vision. Come on, let me see how you get the rewards of the dimensional platform. Thor roared. Rushed out. The Hulk showed no sign of weakness, holding the chicken talisman in his hand, and then activated the energy inside to wrap around Thor's body. Wow. In the shocked eyes of countless people, Thor originally spun Thor's hammer at high speed and flew towards everyone. As a result, it was firmly fixed in the sky by the power of the chicken charm. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't get out, and at this time Spider-Man also spit out his spider silk and came to the top of the building. He immediately concentrated the endless power in his body on his right foot and then released it in one breath, shattering the wall of the building to create a huge gap. Countless gravel dust, the sand scattered in all directions and then headed towards Thor in the sky like a cannonball. Then he concentrated his power on his right fist and swung it out hard. Boom. The dull sound of impact resounded, and Spider-Man's seemingly thin body actually exerted extremely terrifying power. His right fist hit Thor's body hard, and a terrifying shockwave erupted, setting off a wave of terror. There were ripples of airwaves in circles, and then Thor was sent flying hundreds of meters away, before landing heavily on the ground in the distance. Countless people saw this scene, with expressions of shock and disbelief on their faces. They didn't expect that the Hulk's chicken charm could even immobilize gods, and Spider-Man's power was also terrifying. You guys, that's enough. Although Loki was happy to see his brother being beaten but as the Prince of Asgard beating Thor would undoubtedly be a slap in the Asgardian face so he held a dagger and used magic to transform himself into Loki one after another, heading towards them but at this moment everything around you is folding upside down like a mirage, which is amazing. Then there was a voice full of vicissitudes of life. Before you fight, maybe you should consider where this place is. The Avengers, Thor, and Loki all stopped what they were doing. The tense atmosphere just now was gone because standing among them is Master Guyi, the true supreme mage. I'm sorry Master, we have no ill intentions. We are just representing Asgard in exchange for the magic that Steven received. Loki has always been an expert at adapting to the changing circumstances. He was well aware of the power of the ancient mage in front of him. His attitude suddenly changed 360 degrees. The representative of the Avengers, Nick Fury, also expressed his apology and asked everyone to put away their weapons and equipment. You all come in. Go. Lee said calmly. Immediately he led everyone to the main hall. They all sat and drank tea. After the mediation of Ancient One. Only then did both sides put aside their grudges. Time passed by minute. Nick Fury shared the timeline he compiled with everyone. And reached cooperation with Thor and Loki. But at this moment. Spider-Man Peter Parker said, there are less than 2 hours until the next video starts. Here. This they all stopped discussing. They all clicked on the dimensional platform and started waiting. Because this time, the two heroes are editing together. It's an experience I've never had before. You guys are asking, could it be Loki and I? I feel like that's definitely the case. After all, if there are two people editing, there will definitely be some intersection between them. Hey, maybe it's Pepper and I. We are better suited as a husband and wife team. You, a playboy, can be on the list. I don't believe it. Blonde girl, there are so many things you don't know. Thor. Backquote. While The Marvel Universe is anxiously waiting. The other side. Lin Lan was looking at the Book of Emperor Wishan as a reward from Doctor Strange with relish. Although there is only defensive magic. But for him, it is really useful. After all, now he not only has the Spider-Man Black Panther suit, but also the Hulk serum that can enhance his physical fitness plus the defensive magic you just acquired. It can be said that in this real world, you can walk sideways, but he was not satisfied. So he planned to edit 2 superheroes in one go. In this case, you can get 2 rewards at once. Lin Lan somewhat admired his own idea. Then go ahead and edit the video. Shortly after, the editing is finally finished. Editing 2 heroes in one go will definitely require a husband and wife team. But at the end of the day, will the people in the Marvel Universe cry to death? The corners of Lin Lan's mouth raised slightly. He didn't care if those people cried or not. Upload directly to the dimensional platform. It's enough to be rewarded. Time passed by minute. Countless people in the Marvel Universe are waiting anxiously. They frantically want to know who these 2 heroes are. After all, I've never had this experience before. No wonder they are looking forward to it. As more and more videos become available, they also have more and more doubts. But with only 1 video a day, too little information can be revealed to them. So, when they knew that this issue's video would feature 2 heroes, it directly ignited their inner expectations. Who do you think these 2 heroes will be? I'm really looking forward to it. I've never seen a video of 2 heroes editing together. It's okay to look forward to it. Anyway, this time we can finally watch it happily, and we can also know what will happen in the future. There will definitely be more information revealed to us this time. And I bet that this time we will definitely know that the destruction. How did they collect all 6 gems? Yes, I collected 5 last time, and this time it's the last one. I'm so looking forward to it, but I'm still looking forward to how they go back in time to get the gems. That will definitely be interesting, because of the barrage. Conversation in the universe is becoming more and more convenient. And some superheroes also joined the ranks of barrage. Thor, you don't have to guess. This time it must be me and my brother. After all, the 2 heroes must be related to each other to be edited together. A certain philanthropic rich man. It seems that a certain blonde girl is not giving up. If you can be on the list, then so can I. Star-Lord. Hey, your words reminded me that the superheroes this time will definitely be me and my cheap dad. We rob the rich and give to the poor. We will definitely be on the list. Raccoons love to eat crispy noodles. Ha 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 ha. I was laughing so hard. A thief said he was a superhero. Ha 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 ha. There is no such funny joke in the entire universe. Trent. I'm Groot. It's hard not to support. What? Star-Lord said he would be on the list. Why doesn't this guy give up? That's right. I think the Prince of Asgard is quite possible. Yes, maybe they are really the 2 princes in the universe. More and more people think of them as the Asgardian Thor and Loki. And Thor saw the barrage. He also laughed wildly and then looked at Tony Stark, who was sitting not far from him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. Just wait to be slapped in the face, Playboy. At the same time. The time has finally arrived. Countless people flock to click on the video. Afraid of seeing it 1 second later than others. But when they click in. They were all sluggish. All their guesses were wrong. Then a striking title caught everyone's eyes. Counting the 5th and 6th places in the top 10 superheroes, Wanda and Vision kneel down and beg for flower tickets. Comments on the launch. Finally, the moment came when I didn't know what to say. In the 12 days since the book was released, I would like to thank all the readers and ads who have been able to read this book. It is because of your support that I, a newbie, can persevere until now. Although the number of data and comments is not very large. But it was your support that made me feel valued for the first time. These days, epidemics and typhoons are coming one after another where the author lives makes me more stressed. Eat one meal less every day. I didn't even dare to turn on the light. I only dared to light a candle. Because I'm afraid that debt collectors will see me at home and then take advantage of this time to come to my house to collect debts. After all, no matter how noisy or noisy, no one will care about me, let alone help me. And now I write novels just to make up for the mistakes I made before. As for what's wrong, that was naturally a mistake made by youth and ignorance for the sake of love. In the past, I always saved money for my girlfriend for various holiday gifts. I could eat a bottle of chili sauce with steamed buns and rice for 3 days. Since I had no money, I naturally thought of opportunistic means and borrowed money. However, not only was every friend scared of me borrowing money, but even my parents no longer cared about me, so much so that I tried to borrow money from people I didn't know. Therefore, there is only one final ending. That means my girlfriend also stayed away from me. However, right at the darkest time in my life. At Farzao's suggestion, I started writing novels. Because I'm a Marvel fan, I have never missed almost every movie and TV show from the time I entered Iron Man to now. So this book was born. It is precisely because of you that I have the motivation to continue writing. As for the ranking issue, in fact, everyone has different rankings. So I mentioned it at the beginning of writing, that there is no distinction between rankings, but of course, many people will ignore it. So much, so that I don't even bother to read my book. Prepare to. However, what I want to say here is that every Marvel fan has his own favorite character. I write their stories more for feelings, not for competition. So please forgive me for my little willfulness in making such a list. Group, but I will promise you more exciting plots. 8 than there is. 9 Woo, it will be released at 2400 hours tonight. 3 Woo, I heard from the big guys in the group that the first order for the first chapter is very important, and it seems to be related to the issue of recommendation. With Filu fans struggling, the first order has become even more important. 9 So here I beg you all readers and fathers to subscribe. Even if you are readers and fathers who don't want to continue reading, I beg you to subscribe to the first chapter. 6 Because that is very important to me. For I kowtow to you here. 4 The author has no retreat. 6 As for putting it on the shelves, I will try to have as many words as possible in each chapter, and the author will try his best to ensure that there are more chapters, so that all readers and dads can enjoy reading it. 0 Even if I light a candle, even if I risk going blind, even if I'm a handicapped person, I will still code like crazy. If the results of the first order are ideal, then it's not a problem to have an update of 20,000. Thank you again for your company. We'll see you there. 52. Scarlet Witch, the Mind Stone. Counting the 5th and 6th places in the top 10 superheroes Wanda and Vision. Marvel Universe. Countless people made the same move. Click to enter the video. When the title of the video caught people's eyes, they had the same expression as when they saw Black Panther and Doctor Strange. That is, who are these two heroes? This time seems to be different from before. This time, just like the trailer, it directly tells us who these two heroes are. You're stupid. Even if I didn't tell you who it was, you wouldn't know it. That's right. This way, at least the gap in our hearts will not be so big. Let's continue watching the video. I really want to know the story of these two heroes now. It's so interesting. The video begins. There was a piano sound in the background that sounded like falling in love. It gave countless people goosebumps. There is even a feeling of light up. I didn't expect this video. Not only the form is different. Even the background music is refreshing. Hey, why do I feel like I'm in love? This background music is so nice. Although the rhythm is still so slow and the piano is still playing, there is such a sweet feeling in it, like cherry blossoms falling slowly. The feeling of falling in your hands. Don't tell me the background music of this video is different from the previous ones. I dare say that these two heroes must be a husband and wife team, and there must be a sweet love story in it. Yes, I'm already looking forward to it. Hiss. This author does tricks every time, making people want to stop. Like, Like crazy. Good point, very good. Every video is different point, and this time it gives people a completely new experience point. The video made by this author is really beautiful. Countless people were emotional point. The sense of anticipation was filled to the brim point. Two eyes fixed on the dimensional platform. Never miss a second. Video continues. The lyrical piano sound continues. And finally there is a picture in the video point ding, accompanied by a burst of clanging sound point. Array of light spread out point, just like the sun shining on the face. Everyone feels warm point, but more shock point. Then a scepter came into everyone's eyes. They all recognized this as the scepter held by the weak god that appeared in the Hulk video, and the eye-catching soul gem in the middle point had touched the heartstrings of countless people. After all, that one is one of the 6 infinite gems in the universe. Hey, isn't this the scepter in the hand of that weak god? What does it have to do with these two heroes? I don't know, but since it appears in the video, it must be related. Hiss. Do you remember that when Thanos gathered all 5 gems, it was this one gem that he picked up? Holy crap. That's it. I knew this video would reveal how Thanos collected all 6 stones. Loki. Then why do you mention me if you have nothing to do? Countless people watched the barrage and frantically expressed their thoughts. Realized immediately point Thanos only has this gem left to collect. So I was looking forward crazily to find out what the relationship between this gem and these two heroes was, and how Thanos collected it. Next, let's start counting the 5th and 6th numbers of the top 10 superheroes. At this time point Lin Lan's deep and magnetic voice sounded point. It has once again raised the expectations of countless people. Then I heard him say, Wanda is emotional, and also possesses extremely powerful chaos magic. Countless times, she wanted to stay out of it, but fate did not go as she wished, and kept depriving her of the people she valued one after another. Loneliness and loneliness have always filled her world. Until she met him, the world began to take on color, and she became a superhero willing to fight for the world. So much so that, after experiencing a lot of pain, she became the real Scarlet Witch, and Vision came to the world like a blank sheet of paper. He is holy, pure, possesses unrivaled power, and is the incarnation of the Mind Stone. He is well aware that many people are concerned about his power, so he would rather live an ordinary life in hiding. But the pendulum of fate never stopped, so when disaster struck, he made the difficult choice to sacrifice himself. Chapter 56. Boom, boom, boom. As Lin Lan's voice gradually became louder, the pupils of countless people dilated rapidly. His face was full of shock and disbelief. Just as they imagined. The 5th and 6th heroes are a husband and wife team, and this is also the first time that a female hero is on the list. Hey, there are actually female heroes. I thought they were all men before. I didn't expect it. There is actually a heroine, and she looks very powerful. Maybe she can be compared with the last Doctor Strange. That's right. Chaos magic. Scarlet Witch. Just listening to the introduction, I feel very powerful. But what they didn't expect was even more. Vision turned out to be the incarnation of the Mind Stone. Wow. Countless people in the universe were in an uproar. Apparently no one could have imagined this. They had always thought that the Mind Stone was embedded in weapons to function. But I didn't expect that I could actually create a superhero. But they wanted to know more. How Vision sacrificed himself. The sense of anticipation was stretched to its peak in an instant, and my heart almost jumped into my throat. Crazy looking forward to what kind of story these two superheroes will have. After all, they have never seen these two heroes in other videos. Hey, I'm so looking forward to it. One is a superhero with chaos magic, and the other, Lee Zeos, is a superhero incarnated with the Mind Stone. This husband and wife team must be invincible. Yeah. I'm even more looking forward to it now. How Thanos snatched this Mind Stone from Vision's hands. This author understands us so well, and now he can finally reveal what we want to know. I can't wait. Countless impatient voices sounded in the universe. They even skipped the reasons for being on the list. In their hearts it can already be felt that these two heroes must have made huge sacrifices for the world. So regardless of the reason for being on the list, they also regard them as heroes in their hearts. And at this moment. Earth. A story in a small town. Wanda, who was watching the video, was confused. What superhero, what a husband and wife team, is this really me? Point 53. Whip the corpse and slap Loki in the face. Vision lifts Mjal Nakamataj. Point temple. Point at this moment. Point embarrassment was written on both Tony and Thor's faces. They were still arguing a second ago. Point they all said it was themselves as a result. The title of the video just slapped them in the face. Blonde girl, I'm very sorry. It seems it's not you and your brother. Playboy, I'm very sorry. It seems it's not you. Tony and Thor are very passionate. Point the other members around him felt a strong pressure. Point, but no wonder they all want to be on the list. Point, although the burden is different for everyone. Point, but now they are feeling the tension. Point, why? Because now we start counting the 5th and 6th places. There are only 5 spots left on the list. Point, how could they not be anxious or panic? So much so that after the two quarreled for a while or two, they stopped. Point, watch the video quietly. Point, but when they heard the introduction, that Vision was the Mind Stone. Point, suddenly curiosity and anticipation were filled. Shouldn't this scepter be in your hand, Loki? Thor turned around and asked. Point, there was a flash of doubt in his eyes. Obviously I didn't expect why Loki's scepter would become the superhero Vision. Point, and just then Point Spider-Man Peter Parker patted the table excitedly, as if thinking of something, and then said, haha, I know. It must be because he failed to invade the Earth, so the scepter is our trophy. Hiss, that's right. Point, that's for sure. Peter Parker had a smile on his face, and when he looked at Loki, he admired his own idea. Point, the other members also nodded. Point, I totally agree with this ending. Point, only Loki was left with his head hanging down, his face full of gloom. Point, if the Ancient One wasn't here. Point, he really wanted to kill all these guys in front of him, and this stupid brother of my own. Why are you mentioning me when you have nothing to do? Speechless, Loki raised his head, stared fiercely at the Avengers in front of him, and then said with murderous intent, believe me, I'm definitely the winner in this video. At this time Point video continues. The background music changed from the lyrical piano just now to passionate music. Point, only seen in the screen. Point, the figure of the Hulk appeared in front of everyone. Point, and in his hand, he was holding that weak god tightly. Bang. Bang bang. The dull sound of impact kept resounding, and the Hulk kept smashing Loki in 573's hand into the ground, making huge dents one after another. As countless gravel and dust flew away, Loki was also hit with suspicion. Life. Point, but at this moment Point the scene changes. Click. The camera zooms in. Point, everyone saw that Loki's hands were handcuffed. What does this mean? It means that everyone on Earth has won this battle. Hahaha. This author is so crazy. He actually played the video of whipping corpses again. I like it. This weak god never thought that he would be played twice. Hahaha. And he even lost in the end. Hiss. I didn't expect that a weak god with a mind gem and an army of millions would lose. What a shame and humiliation. Yes, it can be explained now. The Mind Stone should have stayed on Earth, but why did it become a superhero? At this time Point, Loki just said he would win. Point, the results of it. Not only was the video of him being beaten by the Hulk broadcast again, but his hands were also handcuffed. Suddenly, the whole person froze in place. Point, his face was full of shock and disbelief. No, this can't be true. Loki exclaimed. Point, but everyone obviously didn't care about him. Point, they just want to know how the Mind Stone became a superhero step by step. Video continues. The background music became desolate. Point, it seemed as if a knife had cut into the heart. Every time it crossed, people couldn't help but feel sad. Point, then in Nick Fury's shocked eyes. Chapter 57. I saw Loki after his defeat. Point, spare air. I wait. 9. Succ neighbor, the scepter and the Mind Stone on it were taken away by SHIELD, but I didn't expect it. Point, it turned out to be the remnants of Hydra. Immediately the screen changed. Point, the background music is even more miserable. Every time the piano sounds, it's like blood rushing into the heart, making people panic and full of unwillingness and sadness. Scarlet, which was born with chaos magic, but because of the Mind Stone, her magic was strengthened and gradually revealed. When you have great power, your destiny will be the opposite, and you are destined to be displaced. Lin Lan's deep voice combined with sad music. Point, it makes the hearts of countless people feel like they are immersed in the deep sea. Point, loneliness, depression. People who are watching the video have never thought that this hero is actually man-made and the product of experiments. I was just happy that there was finally a female hero. But why am I not happy at all when I see this scene? Don't talk nonsense. The previous superheroes more or less became superheroes because of the unknown, and this one was simply used as a test subject. Who knows how much pain she went through, but the author's words make me feel that something more painful will happen later. This author is so good at using contrast. My heart is up and down right now. Yes, the lyrical piano sound in the front made countless people think that this pair of superheroes would be happier, but there's a critical hit at the beginning point. It directly explains that Wanda is a test subject. This is hard for many people to accept. But the video continues. Because the spiritual scepter was stolen. The Avengers assemble an army and head to their destination to retrieve it. But at this moment. The scene changes. Wanda demonstrated her super power of mind manipulation, causing many members to lose their minds, including the Hulk. Rampage. Although the video did not reveal what the members saw. But then the scene changed. Tony and Banner appeared. They want to use a mind stone to create an artificial intelligence to protect the world. Just when countless people thought that what was about to be created was a vision. But what they didn't expect was he actually created an artificial intelligence that wanted to destroy the world. In an instant. There is a sigh in the universe. They didn't expect that the artificial intelligence they created wanted to destroy the world, and it also specially designed a body made of vibranium. Just after it's done. You can have the power to truly destroy the world. Cannot be destroyed. The background music became even more desolate at this moment. Let countless people feel despair, but at this moment. Lin Lan's voice gradually became more exciting. When she was 10 years old, her parents died tragically due to Stark Industries, leaving her and her brother as orphans. Hatred has always been with them, but when the end of the world comes, will she still be blinded by hatred and seek revenge no matter what? Of course not. She knew the mistakes she had made, and she knew it was all because of her that this happened. So she stood up at this time. Boiling. Countless people felt their blood boiling. They want to see the rise of a generation of heroes. Really. Wanda and her brother Quicksilver joined the Avengers and teamed up to fight Ultron. Whoops. At this time. A train roared past. Directly off the original track. However, there were hundreds of people on the train. This scene. Reminds countless people of the scene where Spider-Man pulls a train with his bare hands. They believe that Wanda and her brother Quicksilver can be saved, as they expected. Wanda wrapped her energy around her hands and then concentrated it on the train rollers, even though her chaos magic is weak now. But it can barely slow down the train. Only not enough. Zoom out. Exactly like the Spider-Man video. At the end is a cliff, but this time what fell was not in the sea, but on the ground. That's right. The entire city and its foundation soared into the sky. As long as the train falls, death is certain. People watching the video held their breaths, thinking about how to crack it. Wanda's brother Quicksilver told everyone how to do it. Whoops. The roaring sound echoed through the sky. I saw that Quicksilver had saved everyone on the train one by one at a speed that was too fast to be seen. And this is still in slow playback. The real speed is unimaginable to them. Hey, this younger brother is also very capable. Do you think he will be a superhero like my older sister? Haha. I also think that they are indeed not a family. If you don't belong to the same family, both superheroes are very strong. Just as everyone thought. A time when Quicksilver can also become a superhero. But he didn't expect the scene to change. Clang, clang, clang. Countless metallic clanging sounds resounded, and brass bullets fired in front of them like a golden storm. In the trembling eyes of everyone, Quicksilver was hit by a bullet. Silence. Speechless. No one in the universe expected this ending. Just a second ago, they were talking about whether Quicksilver could become a superhero like his sister Wanda. As a result, he died. At this time, the background music suddenly stopped. It left countless people feeling sad and suffocated. They can already imagine how desperate Wanda must be. She had obviously given up her hatred and planned to save the world with her brother who depended on each other. However, the only brother who accompanied her left like this. Loneliness and sadness are nothing more suffocating and painful than the death of a loved one. It's like a knife stabbing the heart. It's so despairing and It was the death of her younger brother that caused her power to surge and show its strength for the first time. Lin Lan's voice was filled with sadness and anger, and people who are watching the video they also clenched their fists. That's right, they could feel Wanda's despair. You can feel her anger even more. I saw Wanda releasing endless chaos magic with dazzling scarlet light shining in her hands and terrifying energy ripples trembling all over her body, instantly destroying all the surrounding mechanical legions. Immediately afterwards, the scarlet energy ripples instantly turned into rippling lightning arcs. I saw a terrifying arc of lightning blooming. Everyone can see inside the container. It is the vibranium body that Ultron prepared before. The hammer fell with the terrifying power of lightning. The whole vessel exploded. Suddenly, a figure with a mind gem laid on his head and a red body came into everyone's eyes. They know this must be another hero. Vision. Hiss. The second hero is actually a robot. Chapter 58. It's a robot equipped with the Mind Stone. It looks very powerful. That's right. Kill Ultron. Help Wanda get revenge. The hearts of countless people were on fire. They all expressed their truest thoughts of Vision, and the video also raised the hammer, preparing to fight back. Boom, boom, boom. The Asgardians who were watching the video included Thor, Loki, and their pupils instantly shook. They all knew that no one could lift Thor's hammer except Odin and himself. But what do they see now? Did Vision lift it up easily? Why? Before they could figure out why. Then I saw in the picture that Vision and Ultron were fighting, destroying bodies one after another, and finally stood in front of the remains of a robot. Under a laser, Ultron was finished. In the end, the war was won. But the people watching the video have not yet shaken off their emotions. After all, the death of their younger brother made them feel sad, let alone Wanda. Video continues. Wanda was imprisoned in a small room. Although no one knew what happened. But they can see. Watch over Wanda's Vision and comfort her from time to time. Although Vision hasn't experienced much since his birth. But his learning ability is obvious to all. Now he also has human emotions. The relationship with Wanda also became stronger. The background music also played the lyrical piano god at the beginning. See this scene. Countless people felt warm inside. Really. Just as they thought. Maybe the two of them should be together. Wanda finally has someone to accompany her. I almost thought she was alone again. Phew. Great. The two of them are finally together. It's just that Vision can fall in love, which I didn't expect. So, love does not distinguish between races. Even robots can fall in love. Don't you think so? Yes, the fate between the two people is related to the Mind Stone. Maybe the author will give out candy in the future? Just like the Hulk and the Black Widow. Hehe. Countless people are looking forward to the author giving out sweets in the video. Let them see the scene they want to see most. But the lyrical piano sound stopped abruptly. The sad, tearful violin sound has once again been restored. After a long period of companionship, the two also confirmed their relationship and even lived in seclusion in a small town, planning to spend a lifetime together. However, despite this, the pendulum of fate has never stopped. Can Vision, who possesses the Mind Stone, really live a stable life with Wanda? I'm afraid this is just their wish. At this time. Lin Lan's voice was full of sadness, and there seemed to be a helpless sigh. It immediately made countless people's nerves tense. They all held their breath. How could they forget the Mind Stone? Isn't it exactly what Thanos needs? Hiss. Damn, I almost forgot. The Mind Stone. Holy shit. No, the author must not use the knife. I want to eat candy. I'm old and I can't stand this. Don't let me see that scene. Although countless people did not speak out. But they can already imagine what will happen. The background music is sadder and the video continues. Thanks to readers W 22,249, 175,619, 18,617, 15,935 for their monthly votes. 54. The love between Wanda and Vision, killing Vision with her own hands. Kamatage. Temple. At this time, everyone held their breath and looked at Tony Stark. They didn't expect it at all. A playboy would actually create artificial intelligence in order to protect the world, although the result failed. But they haven't figured it out until now. Hahaha. A playboy like you actually thinks of ways To protect the earth and even the world. Why do I feel like the sun is coming out from the west? At this time, Thor's bold laughter echoed throughout the entire temple. Obviously he didn't believe that Tony Stark was this kind of person at all. Now, he has not become friends with the Avengers as in the timeline. So the meaning of ridicule is very obvious, but Tony showed no signs of weakness and directly exposed Thor's most embarrassing things. What? Right, do you have to laugh at me, blonde girl? I remember seeing it on the dimensional platform before. You said that no one can lift your hammer except your father, right? But why in the video, Vision can lift it? Woolen cloth. Thor's face turned pale, as if he was deflated. Apparently he didn't even know why. And he plans to go back and ask his father, Odin. Why is this guy able to lift his hammer? You must know that what he is most proud of is the Thor's hammer in his hand. Okay, all you resentful women, stop arguing and let's see what happens next. Thanos will definitely go find Vision. At this time, Stephen Strange said. Obviously really want to know what is the final outcome of Vision. After all, after he gave away the time stone, Thanos should be looking for the last stone, which is the mind stone on Vision's head. When everyone heard this, they also turned their attention to the dimensional platform and continued to watch. Others in the universe are also looking forward to what kind of story will happen between Wanda and Vision. Video continues. Boom. That night. Thunder rolls. It rained heavily. The rain fell to the ground like soybeans, forming puddles one after another in a matter of seconds. In the screen. Vision has transformed into a human being, no longer the red color tone like a robot before. I saw him standing by the window, looking into the distance. There seemed to be a bit of pain on his face. This gem again. It seems to be talking to me, but I don't know what it is saying. Vision said a little painfully. Wanda walked down from the bed and stroked his forehead. The behavior between the two of them is indicative of their close relationship. The background music is also at this moment, with a hint of nostalgia in the misery. Like a sign that something big is about to happen. The gem is glowing. Could it be because it feels a crisis? Hey, Vision, leave quickly. The two of them have finally settled together. Can't they live happily ever after? Countless people were shouting and roaring. They could already guess that Thanos would come looking for the last gem. But there was nothing they could do. I can only watch the video. Tell me what you can feel. At this time. When Vision said these words, Wanda mobilized the magic energy in her body and felt the soul gem. But then she touched Vision and said lovingly, I can't feel anything except you. Finished. Chapter 59. Wanda and Vision kiss. The scene also changed from indoor to outdoor. I saw the two of them holding hands walking on a rainy night. The scene is so heartwarming. But it makes countless people feel torment and anxiety in their hearts because they know something big will happen later to break this tranquility. Really, at the moment Wanda and Vision are about to separate. Jun Yang. 519,124,243. Suddenly the background music changed from sad to scary. It shocked countless people. I saw a sharp blade piercing through Vision's abdomen, directly revealing his original appearance. Vision, Wanda shouted. I was frightened by the sudden change. Then countless people who were watching the video saw one of Thanos' men, General Deathblade. Holy crap. I knew Thanos would send his men here. Fuck. Oh. This author is really crazy. I just want to eat sweets. I like this couple very much. Why should I break them up? Why? Countless people were angry. They were aggrieved by this pair of fights. Obviously Wanda lost her brother, finally fell in love. Why break them up? But the Deathblade general in the video doesn't care about this. I saw him throwing Vision aside mercilessly. Then he directly used its sharp blade to poke at the Mind Stone. See this scene. The hearts of countless people watching the video were as tight as Wanda's, as if a sharp knife was piercing their hearts. Pain. Sadness. Wanda roared. Mobilize the endless energy in your body. 2 magic light bullets instantly bombarded General Deathblade and another of his men, Proxima Centauri. After blasting them away, escape with Vision. This knife directly caused my system to become disordered, and I lost the ability to control it. The Background music began to become fast, allowing countless people to experience the feeling of being in danger. Their adrenaline was racing. Crazy looking forward to how Wanda and Vision can escape from their clutches. Video continues. General Deathblade and Proxima Centauri showed impressive combat abilities. On the one hand, Wanda has to fight, and on the other hand, she has to prevent Vision from being captured. One punch is no match for four hands suppressed everywhere. So much so that the hearts of countless people have reached the bottom of despair just when they thought Vision was captured. Like this, Captain America and Black Widow show up. Saved the two of them and took them to Wakanda, intending to take out the Mind Stone. See this scene. Everyone understood. They finally knew why there was a battle in Wakanda. Eternal King. I didn't expect that it was because Vision was in Wakanda. That's why Thanos' army went to Wakanda. Salute to the Eternal King. Not only did the king not drive them away, but he also took them in. But was he successful in the end? Of course it didn't work. I guess it was taken away by Thanos after the gem was removed. In the universe. Countless people sighed. They can already imagine at when the Mind Stone on Vision's head was removed. Thanos' army just arrived here. And the Mind Stone happened to be obtained by Thanos. If Lin Lan, the author of the video, were here, he would definitely shake his head and laugh at them. Because the truth is even crueler than this. The video continues in a laboratory full of high technology. Vision lies flat on the operating table. Black Panther's sister is operating the system and preparing to remove the gem. Wanda, who was supposed to protect Vision, looked at the terrifying army outside the window and fell into deep thought. She possesses unimaginably terrifying chaos magic, but she has always resisted using this magic. She wants to spend an ordinary life with her lover, but when thousands of troops pressed forward and saw so many people dying, she knew that if she didn't take action, more people would die. But her decision happened to lead to tragedy. Lin Lan's voice was filled with regret. The anticipation of countless people was instantly heightened. Could it be that, as they thought, the Mind Stone was taken away by Thanos after it was removed? Video continues. The background music suddenly became fast and heart-stopping. Countless people watched the video with bated breath. At the moment Wanda left. The Deathblade general who just appeared once again came into view. I saw him breaking into the laboratory. Pierce the chest of the guard with a sharp blade. Go straight to Vision. However, Black Panther's sister saw this scene. Didn't run away. Instead, it sped up. I want to remove the Mind Stone. But it was too late. The operation was terminated. Vision fell from a tall building with General Deathblade. His system was disrupted due to previous injuries, unable to show strength. Fortunately, Captain America is here to help. Successfully killed the Deathblade general. And Wanda also came to Vision's side with a look of distress. Cool. See this scene. Countless people breathed a sigh of relief. This video has twists and turns. Every time I thought Vision was going to die. None of them died in the end. Let their emotions rise and fall. Hiss. This author is really killing me. My little heart can't bear the ups and downs. Vision is not dead. Vision is not dead. Phew. It scares me to death. Although there are a lot of ups and downs, I feel so good watching it. The author is awesome. This video is very interesting to me. Just when countless people just breathed a sigh of relief. The background music is soothing from just now. Compact again. It seems like something terrible is about to happen. Really. In their shocked and disbelieving eyes, a dimensional wall like waves appeared in front of everyone, and a familiar figure walked out of it. Thanos. When the final enemy attacks, Wanda and Vision know full well that his target is a Mind Stone on Vision's head. Their wish is to spend a lifetime together, but in the face of the survival of the universe, do they choose to be heroes or choose their own selfish desires? The answer is of course the former. Lin Lan's deep voice alternated between high and low. It moves the hearts of countless people, and when they heard the last words, the heartstrings in my heart were deeply touched. Zero Ask for Flowers. Chapter 60. Yes, Wanda lost her family. It's hard to find a lover, even if the other party is a robot. But she still loved deeply. But fate asked her to make a choice at this moment. Should we protect the world or not? Through the author's words, they knew in advance that Wanda and Vision chose to protect the world. But their expectations were also filled to the brim. In front of Thanos with 5 gems. How on earth Do they protect the world? Video continues when Thanos shows up. Wanda and Vision looked at each other. Just listen to Vision say, Wanda, it's time. No, they can't stop him, but we can. When the person watching the video hears Wanda's conversation with Vision. The sense of anticipation has been pushed to its peak, because they feel. It seems that Wanda and Vision have long expected Thanos to come, and have also formulated a way to deal with him. What exactly is it? How on earth do they stop Thanos? Wanda, look at me. Your power can destroy this gem. Boom. When Vision said these words, the hearts of countless people were violently shaken, as if they had been hit hard by a giant hammer. They never expected it. Vision's plan actually requires Wanda to destroy the Mind Stone. What a concept. That is to say, when the Mind Stone is destroyed, the Vision disappears with it. This is for Wanda, who only has Vision left. What a difficult choice it is. No, I beg you, I don't want to see Vision die. This is more uncomfortable than having a haircut. I'm about to cry to death. Vision has survived so many times, but this time he actually asked Wanda to kill him. How can Wanda do it? Wanda only has Vision left. Without Vision, she has nothing. Please, come and stop Thanos. In the universe. Countless people choked. Crying as the video unfolds, because they really want to see Wanda and Vision live their lives smoothly. And knowing that Wanda is so emotional, letting her kill Vision with her own hands will undoubtedly insert countless knives into her heart. The background music starts to get tight at this point. It seems like forcing people to make a choice. Countless people held their breath and concentrated. I want to know what Wanda's choice is. Video continues when Vision said these words. Wanda stood in front of him, firmly denying it. Even her mouth was trembling. The pain was obviously excruciating. But Vision took her hand. Whispered softly, please, Wanda, you have to do this. Our time is running out. No, I can't do it. No, you can do it. If he gets the gem, half of the universe will be destroyed. This is unfair. Why, Wanda cried. The voice trembled crazily. Even people watching the video cried. They knew that Wanda was struggling, entangled, and even desperate in her heart at this moment. It doesn't matter, you won't hurt me. All I can feel is you. When Vision said these words, Wanda burst into tears immediately. He mobilized the surging chaos magic in his body, and then released it from his right hand in one breath, pouring crazily into the mind gem above Vision's head. See this scene. The entire universe was silent. They can feel the despair and hysterical pain of the two superheroes when facing the doomsday. And just when Wanda poured energy into the Mind Stone with one hand, the other hand is still resisting Thanos, who is slowly approaching. Boom. Just after the bang. The background music stopped abruptly. The whole video is just the auditory hallucination of tinnitus. The yellow fragments are as gorgeous as summer flowers, but also as quiet and beautiful as autumn leaves flying in the air. The people who were watching the video also trembled in their hearts, just like Wanda in the video. Tears burst out from her eyes. They got it. Their love is great. And the determination to protect the world and even the universe is even stronger. But at this moment, Lin Lan's voice sounded. Wanda killed her beloved Vision with her own hands, as if she had ended everything with her own hands. It seems that the disaster has finally subsided, but in fact, there is still more grief sweeping over. Boom, boom, boom. Countless people are also struggling in their hearts, just like the waves. One wave rises again. Could there be a reversal of this matter? They look forward to it, and their curiosity is filled. I want to know crazily what more tragic things will happen. Each chapter is basically 4,000 to 5,000 words. The author really appreciates your support. Although there may be fewer chapters, the total number of words is definitely more than usual. Thank you again. Factory 55. Countless people shed tears and were shocked. Choose 3 out of 4 awards. Hiss. So this is how this battle came about. Let me tell you why Thanos came to my country. At this moment, Kamataj, Black Panther T'Challa who was watching the video, made a sound of wonder, although he was ready to fight point. But when he knew the truth point, I'm also extremely shocked and proud point. When the world is in crisis, it was he who stood up and mobilized the whole country to resist Thanos' army point to protect the last gem. But what he didn't expect was even though they fight hard point, but in the end, the Mind Stone was not successfully removed, but was destroyed by Wanda herself, killing her lover with her own hands. He observed a moment of silence point and everyone around him also mourned in silence point. But just as they thought point, when it's over, the author's words rang out again point. Suddenly their nerves were tense again. What? Is there any chance of this happening? It's impossible. That heroine destroyed the Mind Stone. How could there be a reversal? But don't forget, Thanos should have collected all 6 gems in the end. Otherwise, why would he snap his fingers? Everyone in the Avengers was talking point. Even Thor nodded in agreement point. As for Loki, he is still immersed in the shadow of his own failure and has not come out. But at this moment, chapter 61, Stephen Strange spoke. You seem to have forgotten that he just obtained my time stone. Boom. When Stephen's words were spoken point, everyone's hearts were beating non-stop. Yes, Thanos just got the time stone point, although I don't know if I can use a time stone to restore another stone point, but this is probably why Thanos was able to gather them all, and this conjecture has also been put on the public screen by many people. So in the universe, countless people held their breath and stared at the 573 spirit. Continuing to watch the video. Boom. Video continues the moment the Mind Stone exploded point. The terrifying shockwave that erupted set off ripples like a tsunami, breaking the surrounding trees. Countless sand, dust, and gravel rose into the sky and swept away in all directions. The vision also turned into countless fragments and dissipated in the sky point. The background music is extremely sad point, like a silver needle piercing people's tear ducts. Wanda cried until she choked, with tears running down her face to the corners of her mouth point. Thanos slowly passed by her, then stroked her head and said softly, "I understand you, child, better than anyone." "No, you'll never understand," Wanda retorted sadly point. How could this guy in front of her understand the pain of killing her beloved with her own hands? That's all she has. It's a pity that she can't feel it anymore. What I have lost today is unimaginable, but there is no time to mourn, and now, time has no meaning. Thanos slowly walked towards where Vision was just now point. Amidst the shocked and disbelieving looks of countless people point, activate the green gem on the Infinity Glove on your left hand, and all the fragments produced by the explosion will be reassembled. As if turned upside down, the entire space will vibrate with ripples, finally forming the complete Vision just now. Boom, boom, boom. Countless people's hearts feel like they have set off huge waves and cannot calm down for a long time. It was exactly what they thought point. Thanos really used the power of the time stone to restore the Mind Stone. Holy crap, I really used the time stone to restore the Mind Stone. Then the efforts that Wanda and Vision put in just now were in vain. Oh my god, Wanda must be so desperate now. She just killed her beloved with her own hands and then resurrected her in front of her. Isn't that what will happen next? Stop talking. I want to cry again. Thanos, the one who suffered 1,000 cuts, is so angry with me. In the universe point, countless people cursed Thanos. This is more heartbreaking than killing someone. You obviously killed your beloved a second ago, but you still want to resurrect her in front of her. Everyone can already imagine what will happen next. The background music became extremely sad at this moment point. It's like sinking to the bottom of the sea and suddenly being surrounded by ice point while suffocating. Every part of his body felt like ice. Needles were piercing him point. Pain, despair. In video point, the moment Thanos restored Vision point, despair was written on Wanda's face point. He stood up and roared. No, just when she was about to stop Thanos, the latter knocked it away with one punch. Then, with even more pain and despair in her eyes, she watched Thanos lift Vision up high, then crush his forehead with his right hand, pull out the gem, and throw Vision's body away like trash on the ground. Countless people saw this scene, and their hearts hurt like a knife. This knife made people more desperate than killing Vision with their own hands. Vision died twice in succession. That's enough for you, author. I really don't want to cry, but I can't help it. Why is the love between Wanda and Vision so difficult? That's enough. That's enough. No more knives. Countless people cried into tears. What's more, what about Wanda, who has experienced her lover's life and death twice? I saw her coming to Vision's side, hugging his body without motivation like an old man, and lying quietly on top. Snapped. When the familiar sound of snapping fingers sounded in the eyes of countless people. Wanda's face showed relief. Then it transformed into countless fragments and dissipated like smoke. Background music at this moment. It's also extremely sad. Touched the heartstrings of countless people. I didn't expect Wanda to die with a snap of her fingers in the end. Oh my god. I really like these two. Why are they both dead? I don't accept it. Why? This is not fair. Many people regretted it. Why Wanda and Vision both died. So sad that I choked with tears at the beginning of the video. They thought these two heroes could live a happy life. But who would have thought that the more I look at it, the sadder it becomes. The more I look at it, the sadder it becomes. Just when they were feeling lost and painful. The background music started playing again. It became melodious and melodious. It seems that the story is not over yet. Wanda and Vision died one after another, and the pendulum of fate seemed to have stopped at this moment. But there are always some people who have never forgotten that, just like others, the anger of the Scarlet Witch will be rekindled at some point. Rekindled. When Lin Lan's voice sounded. Countless people's eyes lit up. Yes, a previous video of Spider-Man revealed a scene of resurrection. Black Panther's video also revealed footage of Black Panther's resurrection. It also revealed a golden halo, which means Doctor Strange should be there too. So Wanda will also be resurrected. The thought of this, the hearts of countless people were beating non-stop. Extremely excited. Crazy looking forward to it. Video continues. When the Scarlet Witch turned to ashes with a snap of her fingers, the scene changes. It's a battlefield. It is a more future battlefield. I saw Thanos running out with weapons in hand, and with every step he took, the whole earth trembled. But at this moment, boom, a shocking explosion sounded. I saw a red figure falling from the sky. Countless scarlet energy ripples washed away. In the excited eyes of countless people, Wanda's figure came into view again, and people can see that there seems to be fire burning in Wanda's eyes. You took everything from me. In video. Wanda said through gritted teeth. The whole body is wrapped with scarlet magic power. The momentum is extremely terrifying. But what countless people didn't expect was Thanos, who was facing her, said in confusion, "I don't even know you." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. Wow, the universe was in an uproar. Countless people frowned. I have no idea why Thanos said he didn't know her. She obviously killed her lover with her own hands. Why didn't she recognize him? What the hell? You killed her beloved with your own hands, and you still say you don't know her? I really want to scold you to death. That's right. Do you just look down on Wanda and Vision so much? You purple sweet potato. Wait, why do I feel like there's something wrong with Thanos? Why do I feel different from what I saw before? Hey, don't tell me it's true. Where are his gloves? Where are his gloves? A barrage immediately caused a sensation in the entire universe. Countless people exclaimed. Thanos in the video, the Infinity Gauntlet on his left hand is missing. Suddenly a huge suspense arose again. They wanted to know crazily what caused all this. At this time the background music becomes more and more exciting. After hearing Thanos' answer, Wanda, the heart is cut like a knife. Then he said coldly, "You're no finished." Wanda condensed the endless energy in her hands, and suddenly scarlet light bullets containing terrifying energy were sprayed out one after another, constantly bombarding Thanos' body. Like Fire Lotus, they exploded one by one, setting off a whirlwind of fire. The shockwaves that went round and round, the momentum created, can only be described as amazing. Click, accompanied by a crisp sound. Under Wanda's terrifying chaos magic, the long blade in Thanos' hand broke and was suspended in the air. The powerful chaos magic oppressed his huge body, and the armor on his body was constantly breaking, making him feel a huge crisis. So I heard him shout, "Fire the cannonball, sir." Then our army, hurry up. When Thanos gives the order, countless light bombs pierce the sky like meteors heading towards the dense crowd on the ground. At this moment, the ending song played. The perspective straightens the sky. The picture is also frozen in the scene looking down from the sky. Wanda and Vision. Review is over. When Lin Lan's voice sounded. Countless people are still not satisfied. He even sighed in annoyance. Originally they thought Wanda had died like Vision. But came alive again. Just when they thought Wanda could take revenge. It just stopped at this moment. Isn't this just to titillate one's appetite? Holy shit. Is this the end? You bitch author. You're going to make me mad. Is Thanos dead or not? Please author, I have to keep reading. I'm convinced this author is so good at titillating people. Who can resist this? But fortunately, Wanda is resurrected. It's really cool to see her beating Thanos without gloves. Don't tell me. Yeah, it was really fun to watch, but the author is really good at keeping people's appetites. He didn't show us the ending, so we can only guess for ourselves. I bet Wanda will definitely win. Don't you look at how strong she is now. But don't forget, Thanos' warship fired cannonballs. The scene was so terrifying that he even ignored his own troops. Do you think Wanda can still fight Thanos and resist the attack at the same time? Who knows? Now I just want to urge updates. Crazy updates. I want to know where Thanos' gloves went and why Thanos doesn't know Wanda. Countless people are frantically urging updates on the Barrage Zero. Their hearts are crawling like countless ants. Before they thought it was the resurrection of the heroes, then fights Thanos with gloves for a showdown of the century. The results were beyond their expectations. Not only does Thanos have no gloves, but he also doesn't seem to recognize Wanda. They want to know where did Thanos' glove go, and why didn't Thanos recognize her? The result is gone. People who had just recovered from their emotions immediately filled up the dimensional platform with reminders, as if praying for the author to see it. The video is good looking. It just updates too slowly. And it's often exciting. How can anyone bear this? This author is really exciting. Comma. Touch. Nick Fury's eyes twitched. Said this sentence again. Even though he is still so calm on the surface. If it weren't for the fact that there were so many people in front of him. Definitely got a yell. But what shocked him even more was that in the end, in order to protect the Earth, Wanda and Vision actually killed their beloved with their own hands, and the other was willing to be killed by their beloved. It's hard not to be touched by this feeling. Tony. This time, it's your turn. Why me, Tony? Was puzzled. And Nick Fury went on to say, I have already investigated the two siblings. Their parents died in an explosion, and that explosion used the weapons that you, Stark Industries, had previously leaked. Tony's eyelids drooped. He thought of a Badia from before. Although it has been so long. But people always have to pay the price for their choices, right? So he nodded and responded, I understand. Let's wait until you see her award before leaving. Now, Nick Fury can do it. Just gather all these heroes on the list. Because he had a premonition. Thanos will definitely come to Earth. Why? In a small room. Wanda's voice rang out. Her face was full of shock and sadness, even if she's never experienced it. But she can already feel the despair that her future self will feel from the video. 1.3 The younger brother died. Even the last lover is inevitable. The thought of this, Wanda felt that she needed strength. You need to protect your younger brother and protect your own future. At this time, the dimensional platform sounded mechanical sound effects, and people in the universe also saw Wanda from the dimensional platform. Wanda, please accept the reward. Due to special reasons, you can choose 3 from the 4 options below. To do this, you need to reward the author with an item. At this time, with the sound of the dimensional platform falling, countless people's faces showed expressions of shock and envy. This time it's different again. It turned out to be 3 out of 4. Option 1. Mind Scepter. Currently in the hands of Thanos. Can read, manipulate, modify, create, and protect the spirit of life, and can allow the user to enter the minds of other people, and can also make all dreams and thoughts enter the user's brain. Tip: once chosen, you will immediately gain the power of chaos magic. Option 2. Advanced Overlord Color Haki. A person with Overlord Color Haki can intimidate, frighten, and stun enemies by relying on his or her own vigor without taking action, and can also stun opponents who are much weaker than themselves. After reaching a certain level, they can produce substantial physical damage, and the Overlord color is entangled, which can wrap the Overlord color domineering around the weapon or attack. After entangling, the attack power will be enhanced. Chapter 63. Option 3. The Elder Wand. One of the Deathly Hallows is said to be a wand that can make its owner invincible. It can exert great magic power during a duel, and the holder can easily cast powerful spells magic. Option 4. Choose from the remaining rewards of the previous superheroes. Countless people couldn't sit still after seeing the rewards, especially Thanos. He suddenly jumped up from the throne. Thanks to reader Dadwoo7487 for the 300 reward. 56. Thanos was laughed at by the crowd. Hidden video Wanda and Vision. Hiss, hiss, hiss. At this moment when the mechanical sound of the dimensional platform sounded, countless people in the universe have seen the 4 options above. They all took a few breaths of cold air. The expression on his face can no longer be described as shock. It's simply shocking. 3 views are shattered. They never thought that Wanda could choose 3 out of 4. You must know that before. Spider-Man and the Hulk could only choose 2 out of 3 and the rewards are not so scary. Even the very well rewarded Black Panther and Doctor Strange. There is only a pitiful choice between the 2. So countless people think that dimensional platform is favoring Wanda. Hey, what a preference for Kaiju. Wanda can actually choose 3 out of 4. When other superheroes saw this scene, they were probably extremely envious. Kyanky yanky yang. You can actually choose 3 rewards. The most enviable thing is that the rewards look so good. What shocked everyone was not just being able to choose 3 out of 4. What's even more shocking are the options. When people see reward options, it felt like a huge wave had set off in my heart, and I couldn't calm down for a long time. Let's talk about option 1 first. Psychic Scepter, one of the 6 Infinity Stones in the universe and the main component of the Vision of the Future. But that wasn't what shocked them. But the hint behind the Mind Scepter is now in the hands of Thanos. What's the meaning? In other words, the rewards of the Dimension platform actually include things that others already own. Boom, boom, boom. When people see the prompts behind the Mind Scepter, as if their hearts had been shocked, they jumped up from their seats. They couldn't believe that the dimensional platform could actually reward superheroes with other people's things. Oh my god, can things owned by others be used as rewards? This is too scary. Hiss. There is no difference between this and a robber. How can he still do this? Don't tell me. The dimensional platform is even more confusing now. It's interesting. I like it very much. I especially want to see Wanda choose the spiritual scepter. I also want to see Thanos without the spiritual scepter. What is he? Expression hahaha. Hey, I want to see it too. Wanda, hurry up and choose this. The pupils of countless people dilated rapidly. I felt a chill on my back. Especially a guy named 09 Collector. I even feel my scalp numb. The behavior of dimensional platform this time is no different from that of a robber, but many people just like to watch the fun. Love the choices dimension platform offers this time around. They all thought that Wanda should choose this thing. After all, if you choose this, you will not only get the Mind Stone, but you will also automatically get chaos magic, so you no longer need to be a guinea pig. But what more people want to see is whether the dimensional platform can reward Wanda with the spiritual scepter in the hands of Thanos. If that's really possible. They really wanted to see what Thanos looked like. After all, the previous video made people who like Wanda and Vision hate this guy in their hearts. Keep looking down. Second reward option. The superior overlord looks domineering. You can intimidate, frighten and stun enemies by relying on your own vigor without taking action. To be honest, this reward made many people's eyes light up. They have really never seen this kind of skill in the universe. In their understanding, this is a kind of aura around the body, a king-like aura. If used properly. Maybe it can achieve unexpected results. Moreover, this kind of thing can also be wrapped around weapons and attacks. It can be said to be an attack with amplifying effects, which makes everyone's eyes brighter. If Wanda used magic and paired it with this thing, how powerful would the magic released be? In their minds, they remembered Thanos, who was almost torn to pieces by Wanda in the previous video. Let's talk about the third reward point, the Elder Wand point. The name is easy to understand point. It's a wand that can cast spells, but when people saw its introduction, their pupils expanded dramatically. According to legend, it is a wand that can make its owner invincible. It can exert great magic power during duels, and the holder can easily cast powerful magic. Doesn't it mean that, as long as you have this magic wand, you will be invincible? Hey, this one is also very powerful. I feel like I want all 3 rewards. Look at the 4th option. How dare you tell me that it's not the dimensional platform that prefers Wanda? Countless people turned their attention below point when they see option 4. It makes my teeth itch with envy. It turns out that I can choose the remaining rewards. Oh my god, the whole universe suddenly became sour. They all expressed that this is the preference of the dimensional platform for Wanda point, but some sounds woke them up immediately. Don't forget, Vision hasn't appeared yet, so Wanda should be rewarded by 2 people. Yes, the 2 of them have such a miserable future, so the reward they receive is a little better, but it's not too much. The discussion continues. However, they can only feel envious. We can only wait for Wanda to make her choice. It turns out to be true. You can really get rewards at this moment. When looking at the reward options on the dimension platform point, Wanda finally stopped crying point. Although the videos are all scenes from the future point, but don't forget, she is an emotional person point. She could feel how much pain she, her brother, and Vision would suffer in the future point, and now give her a reward point. It comes naturally to choose well point. In the future, she must protect these 2 people. Psychic Scepter. When Wanda saw these 4 options, his eyes were drawn to the first reward point. She remembers that Vision was created by the Mind Stone point. Although she may not have any feelings for Vision now point, but she knew that one day in the future she would definitely fall in love with this guy point. But that wasn't the only reason she wanted to choose this option point. There is another reason. That's the hint behind the scepter in the hands of Thanos. Break. A murderous aura burst out from her eyes instantly. Chapter 64. Thinking of what Thanos had done, her heart still hadn't calmed down until now point. So she also wanted Thanos to experience what it was like to be deprived of something he valued. As for the other 2 options, she already had the answer in her mind point. It's the Elder Wand and Doctor Strange's remaining reward. Both hands. That's right point. The Elder Wand can give her infinite magic power, and having both hands can give her the ability to modify her body point. As for why I chose both hands, she looked at her brother Kuoyan beside her. In video point, the younger brother died because he was shot point. If you have both hands, not to mention getting shot, even if my brother's leg is broken point, you can also help it recover yourself point, so that he can run forever. So under the expectant eyes of countless people, Wanda opened her mouth slightly and said, I choose options 1, 3, and 4. For the 4th reward, I need the remaining rewards from Doctor Strange. Cool. In the universe, countless people heard Wanda's choice point. They all took out small benches and sat down to eat melon point. They are looking forward to whether Thanos' spiritual scepter will really be awarded to Wanda. After all, this is a scene that has never happened before. Hahaha, Wanda really chose the spiritual scepter. Now there is something exciting to watch. Let me see if I can really get the spiritual scepter. The expectations of countless people were filled point. They are anxiously waiting for the reward to arrive point, even more anxious than Wanda herself. Ding. Congratulations Wanda for getting the reward. It is being distributed. At this time point, the sound of the dimensional platform finally sounded point in the expectant eyes of countless people point. The screen in front of Wanda lit up with a beam of light point. Then a scepter and a magic wand appeared in front of her, and a stream of red and blue energy poured into her body. Hiss. It's true. It's true. Holy crap. I didn't expect that the spiritual scepter would really appear in Wanda's hand. Oh my god. The dimensional platform is awesome. Thanos must be crying to death now. Hahaha. It's cool. It's so cool. Thanos, you have today too. Just When countless people felt comfortable. In the picture of the dimensional platform, Wanda transformed into a purple figure. Just see the screen. The purple figure suddenly stood up. It was as if he was looking for something astonished and unbelievable, and saw this scene. Countless people in the universe burst into laughter. It pushed the inner emotions of countless people to a climax. Scoops of ridicule and abuse. It even filled the entire screen. Hateful. At this time, Thanos saw his face appear on the screen. The whole person is shaking. The eyelids are beating like crazy. My heart was pounding and trembling. At first, he didn't believe that the dimensional platform could take away his spiritual scepter, and he made complete preparations, but unexpectedly, it disappeared out of thin air. How could this not shock him, even though he has been on the battlefield for many years? He has never seen this method before. What's more, what he didn't expect was the dimensional platform even broadcasts its own images to the entire universe. Humiliating for sure. But, no matter how angry he was, he could only swallow his anger. He knows that with his current strength, he cannot afford to offend the dimensional platform. Who is this dimension stage and this author? When I collect all the gems, I will definitely kill you. Thanos holds a grudge. And the men behind him. His whole body trembled. I felt a terrifying murderous aura. The camera turned. Came to Wanda again. I saw that she did not use the spiritual scepter, but placed it properly. As gentle as one would treat a lover. He immediately picked up the Elder Wand. Everyone can see that the Elder Wand is as slender as a dead branch, with many ring-shaped protrusions in the middle. It is really unimaginable that it contains terrifying magical power. However, when Wanda recited the spell that came with the Elder Wand, a fireball shot out from it, like a fire dragon spitting fire. It instantly burst into a powerful flame ray, and then spewed out from it, destroying the ceiling. And it also rushed into the sky, and the heat released caused the surrounding space to tremble and ripples. See here. All the doubts of the people disappeared. There is no doubt that the Elder Wand is as terrifying as its introduction. As for the ability to use both hands, Wanda cut her finger without hesitation. Zhuangji used his red hands to touch the wound according to the technique. Then, under the expectant eyes of countless people, the wound healed, as if it had never been cut. Wow, the universe was in an uproar. No matter which one of these three rewards it is, people are very envious. It can be said that you have these three rewards, you can basically walk sideways. Powerful area of effect, magic plus healing. How the hell is he going to fight this? However, just when everyone was jealous of these three rewards, suddenly the sound of the dimensional platform rang again. Ding. Congratulations to Wanda for her choice, which triggered the hidden video. Hide video. This word touches the heartstrings of countless people like magic. People were overjoyed. Jumbus shouted because in their minds, apart from the problem of Thanos and Wanda and Vision, they are all guessing. What is this hidden video about? Guess what this hidden video is about. I guess it must belong to Thanos. Just now we were talking about Thanos being weird, so I bet this must have something to do with Thanos. What? I'm sure Vision is resurrected. This author always likes to make our moods rise and fall. He was so cruel before, so this time, he should give out some candy. That's right. I agree that it's the story of Wanda and Vision. Countless people were discussing crazily. Has been divided into two opposites. One side insisted it was a video about Thanos, the other side insisted that it was a video about Wanda and Vision. No one can convince anyone. However, the video continues quietly. Cheerful music plays like the music of the last century. Then a picture also appeared in the originally black video. But what no one expected was this time, the picture is actually grey and white, but they didn't care. Because their attention was all on the two figures in the video. Chapter 65. It's Wanda and Vision. Holy shit. I'll just say Wanda and Vision. Ha 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 ha. Is Vision resurrected too? It's so exciting. This author understands us so well. He finally gave us some candy. Yay. I was so angry earlier. I hope this time I can feel the sweetness and sourness of love. Countless People breathed a sigh of relief. When seeing Wanda and Vision. They all showed auntie smiles this time. Their wishes finally came true, and Wanda and Vision finally lived a happy life. Video continues. Overall very cheerful. It is completely different from the previous compact fighting videos. It also allows countless people to relax their hearts. They saw the petty fights between Wanda and Vision, as well as the activities among the neighborhood leaders. They could see that the young couple was working hard to hide their superpowers and plan to blend in with them. But just when they thought everything would be so sweet, it's all about the kids. Sudden. Just when Wanda and Vision were discussing the baby. In everyone's shocked eyes, Wanda is really pregnant. They are confused and puzzled. It even feels weird because Vision is a robot. How could he have a child with Wanda? Then I saw Wanda happily asking Vision, "Is all this true?" Finished. The background music is no longer upbeat. Instead, it feels low and eerie. It makes people think this video is even more weird. Lots of doubts, but at this moment. There was a loud noise outside. Wanda and Vision walked out to check. When a figure wearing protective clothing emerged from the sewer. Wanda's face was tense, and she opened her mouth slightly. No. Finished. The entire video is like playing backwards, returning to the moment when Wanda asked Vision. However, people watching the video saw this scene. They all thought about it and were extremely frightened, just as they thought. At this time, Wanda and Vision are not normal. Is all this true? Wanda asked again. When Vision answered it's true, suddenly, the surrounding environment changed from grey to white. The background music was even more compact at this moment, making countless people nervous. Is all this true? But just when countless people wanted to know what happened. Lin Lan's words made countless people's skin crawl. It's like watching a horror movie. Full of unknowns. Holy crap. It's so scary. I thought it was a romance movie. What the hell happened? I don't know. Let's keep reading. I feel like this may be something that will happen in the future. Hiss. This author must not strike, otherwise I will definitely cry to death. Countless people prayed that Wanda and Vision would live happily together, but doubts have arisen in their hearts. Is Vision really resurrected? Did they really have a baby? P.S. Wanda and Vision is a really good show. Interested readers and ads can check it out. And this show introduces the concept of the multiverse, which is exactly what I want to write about later. The following plot will only become more and more exciting. BTW. Today I updated a total of more than 20,000 words. I really tried my best. But don't forget to vote for the author for free. I kneel down for you. 57. The knife pierces the heart. The Witch and the White Vision. Video continues. The background music is still so tight and scary. It made countless people shudder. They originally thought it was a love story like Green Widow. But now they realize they were wrong. This love is very strange. That's right. First of all, Vision died before Thanos snapped his fingers, and it even took away his most important thing, the soldier. So logically speaking, he cannot be resurrected. But this is not the weirdest place. The weirdest part is Wanda is pregnant, and she got pregnant in just 1 second. This makes everyone feel incredible. Let's not talk about how the robot can make Wanda pregnant. I would like to ask which race has a pregnant belly within a second. People watching the video held their breath. Just like watching a horror movie. Everyone is extremely nervous. I pray that the following video will explain it to them. Video continues. When the picture changes from grey to color, Wanda and Vision's happy life continues because of pregnancy. So they went to the mall together, bought baby products, and prepared for the upcoming baby. They even specially invited a doctor from the town to examine Wanda. But what countless people didn't expect was the doctor congratulated them, and Wanda was really pregnant. See this scene. Countless people frowned even more tightly. Some people who said Wanda was pretending to be pregnant were even more unbelievable and even exclaimed because the doctor said that Wanda was 4 months pregnant. However, what countless people did not expect was this. It hasn't been long. Wanda had fetal movements. What's the meaning? The pregnancy cycle has reached 6 months. Even Vision found it incredible. Ask Wanda directly. Wanda, I don't think anything is right about this. When Vision began to doubt all of this, the video played backwards and forwards again, as if it was stuck. Until Vision asked no questions. However, this scene made countless people gasp, as if they had guessed something. Hiss. I seem to understand something. It was not the author who played the video backwards. It was Wanda who did it. That's right. It seems that every time Vision thinks something is wrong, Wanda will play it backwards, as if she is deliberately hiding something. Could it be that? If your guess is good, could it be at 3% asterisk? What do you mean? Don't make people's appetites. Could it be that this is all Wanda's dream? Boom. When some people say this, it was like a thunderbolt that made countless people wake up instantly. If all this is really Wanda's dream point, that seems to make sense, but they want to know, is this really Wanda's dream? Chapter 66. Video continues. Wanda's belly grew larger, almost giving birth point, but just when Vision went out to find the doctor, neighbor Geraldine came over to borrow a bucket point. However, after borrowing the bucket, he had no intention of leaving point. Instead, they talked endlessly about work and even talked about visiting the room. As a result, Wanda suddenly went into labor at this time and was about to give birth. Eventually twins were born point. Just as Vision went out to see the doctor off point, Wanda and Rachel Din were chatting point, and Wanda also felt this. He said he also has a twin brother. Past events came to mind, and I couldn't help but feel sad point. But what countless people didn't expect was Rachel Din was depressed at this moment, and then asked, did Ultron kill him? Really? At this time point, Wanda became wary point, keep asking who she is, until he saw the necklace with the Sky Sword Bureau logo hanging around Rachel Din's neck point. Then I understood something. The background music also became even weirder at this moment point. Lin Lan's voice also came to mind at this moment. Wanda is emotional, and she has terrifying and incredible chaos magic. For her lover, she will do anything, even create a world. Just when Lin Lan finished speaking point, the scene changes in the dark night point. The billboard lights became the only objects illuminating the area point. But at this moment point, a figure seemed to appear out of thin air, fell from the sky, and then fell heavily to the ground, as if it had been forcibly thrown out point. The camera zooms in point. People who are watching the video have seen who this person is. It was Rachel Din who appeared just now. Seeing this scene, combined with Lin Lan's words, countless people seem to already know the answer. You are a bad author. I knew you weren't that good. It's not candy after all. It turns out that all of this was created. No wonder it's so weird. I thought I could see the happy life of Wanda and Vision. It really pissed me off. Damn. What's wrong with it? Even if it's created, at least they two are living happily with everything and have children. Isn't that enough? Why do these people still bother them? That's right. I feel so bad for Wanda. She loves Vision so much that she loves her enough to create a world for him. Why do you want to disturb them? In the universe point, many emotional people shed tears. They even experienced Wanda's love for Vision again point. Not only was a world created for him point, it also enveloped the entire city point, just to be able to live an ordinary and happy life point. But it's not satisfactory point. When they saw the video, Cheyenne Bureau was investigating the entire town point, even more angry and confused point. Obviously losing Vision is painful enough point. Why bother to ruin it all? Video continues. Vision's sense of self is awakening point. There are also more and more conflicts with Wanda point. Even at festival events, Vision noticed something was wrong point and headed towards the exit of the barrier. But what countless people didn't expect was that when Vision walked out of the barrier, his body was rapidly decomposing. The scene changes. The background music suddenly became tense point. People who were watching the video swallowed hard point, because outside the barrier everyone is from the Cheyenne Bureau. But at this moment point, Wanda sensed it point. Her eyes were scarlet, and the endless chaos magic surged out of her body, along with the terrifying scarlet energy ripples centering on her. It swept away in all directions. All the characters around her stopped, and the barrier also expanding at an extremely fast speed. The entire Cheyenne Bureau army was wiped out. See this scene point. People seem to be able to feel what Wanda is feeling at this moment point. Yes, just ask yourself about the world you created, just to spend your life with your lover. As a result, there are always people coming to disturb me. How can I not be angry? But just when everyone thought it was all over, Lin Lan's voice sounded again. When she is dominated by anger and fear and expands the entire barrier arbitrarily, can she live a stable and happy life in this way? Of Course not. Bad luck is coming one after another. When Lin Lan's voice sounded. The background music becomes bleak at this point. Makes you want to cry. However, when people watching the video heard this background music, they already knew what was going to happen. It must be as painful as a knife cutting into the heart. No, I don't want to see Vision die again. Please, author, be a good person for once. Vision is pathetic enough. Wanda just wants to live a happy life with Vision. Why is it so difficult? Even though countless people say they don't want to see it. But the body is honest. Staring at the screen, not letting a second pass. After all, they also want to know what kind of story will happen to Wanda. Video continues. Dark and damp. Many dry vines covered the walls. Wanda walked into it. The background music also became extremely weird at this moment. But at this moment. A figure caught people's eyes. It's Sans, who often helps Wanda in the videos. You're not the only one who knows magic here. When this woman said this, countless people exclaimed. Only now do they know that this person is a witch. She entered the town to confuse Wanda in order to gain her magic. Then she wondered. Why is Wanda able to create such realistic scenes? So she looks back on her past. From childhood to the Hydra experiment to the room where he was imprisoned, and then to the Skyward Sword Bureau. I saw Wanda coming to Cheyenne Bureau in a fierce manner. I want to get Vision's body back and bury it properly. When I saw Wanda say these words, people watching the video were in tears. They didn't expect that Vision's body would be stored here. But what shocked them even more. The scene changes. Wanda came to the laboratory. Looking down. Vision's body is being dismantled. What the hell? Why? He belongs to Wanda. You have no right to do this. Stop the knife. Stop the knife. If I knife again, I will cry to death. She has watched Vision die twice with her own eyes. Do you want to see him dismembered even after he dies? Are you still human? I'm convinced. Cheyenne Bureau, you have really had enough. This is your own fault. Countless people saw this scene. They all yelled and cursed. Originally, they thought Wanda was miserable enough. But she didn't expect that she wouldn't even be able to possess Vision's body. Seeing the one you love being dismembered. Chapter 67. Wanda's heart was shattered. Tears burst out. Even despair. However, the director standing in front of Wanda said, "We are dismantling the most advanced and complex intellectual weapons in history, and we will never allow you to bury $2 billion worth of vibranium in the soil here." This Wanda stood there. He was obviously shocked by these words. She has done so many things to protect the world. Emotional illusion sacrificed itself to protect the world. Is there only use value left for Cheyenne Bureau? Wanda's lover is just a pile of valuable vibranium. Under anger, Wanda breaks the glass under the aim of countless people's guns. Step forward gently. Came to Vision's body. Touching his forehead. Seems to want to feel something. But I saw her voice trembling and saying sadly, "I can't feel you anymore." Tears. This sentence was like a silver needle piercing the tear ducts of countless people. Because they remember this sentence very clearly. It is not only the embodiment of the love between Wanda and Vision, but also the spiritual link between the two. But now, Wanda can no longer feel Vision. The sad Wanda said nothing and left silently. Back to the car. She found a card in the car. It says West Viewpoint, and according to the guidance, I came here. Many people understand now. How Wanda got here. But when Wanda opened the card. Countless people in the universe cannot sit still. The background music became extremely sad and heartbreaking at this moment. Because of that. It was the land that Vision bought for the two of them during his lifetime, and it said, "We can live here until we grow old." The hearts of countless people shook violently, as if they had been hit by a giant hammer. There was so much beauty in the beginning, but when the sadness comes, it is so heartbreaking. Or sure, Vision has already planned to live forever with Wanda, and he even bought this piece of land. Why is this like this? This is not fair at all. Not fair at all. Why should Vision have to die? Lee. Zao Heyo. They could have lived happily, but they sacrificed themselves for the world, and in the end they couldn't even get their lover's body back. How can people accept this? Countless People cried along with Wanda in the video. The background music sets off the atmosphere to the extreme point. Even people who are not very emotional at first feel as uncomfortable as if they were being ripped apart, and they are so choked up that it is difficult to say a word. The love between Wanda and Vision is enviable, but makes people cry even more. Boom. At this time an earth-shaking loud noise echoed through the sky. I saw Wanda in extreme sorrow, releasing the surging chaos magic throughout her body, sweeping the entire town. Suddenly the whole world turned grey-white, and to the shock of countless people Wanda's body actually emitted yellow light, which condensed into a vision. "Wanda, welcome home." When Vision said these words, Wanda also showed a bright smile. The scene changes. This is the Cheyenne Bureau. An illusion of whiteness was created. At this time, the background music also became compact. It has filled countless people with a sense of expectation and crisis, because they know that this white vision is definitely a weapon used by Cheyenne Bureau to deal with Wanda. I'm really tired of this Heavenly Sword Bureau. Now there are not only witches to deal with, but also a white vision. What's going on? Wanda, please don't fall down. I beg you. Wanda, come on. Kill them. Sound, countless people in the universe pray for Wanda. They all clearly sympathized with the sentimental heroine. I hope she can turn this situation around. Thanks to Reader Dad WX8773 for the 200 reward. 58. The Real Scarlet Witch Awakens. Hey, LUO Dan, do all your organizations on Earth treat superheroes this way? Comma. Touch. At this time Thor was extremely angry. He stood up and cursed Nick Fury. Even though he is a god, he is also a strong man of steel. But when he watched this video, he was completely immersed in it, and his heart was as painful as a knife, especially when seeing Wanda unable to retrieve her lover's body. It even collapsed. Hear the words Nick Fury was also helpless. The Cheyenne Bureau is completely out of his control. Although his old friend is also a member of the Cheyenne Bureau. But she doesn't know that galaxy in outer space yet. So he responded, human beings are more complicated than you think. What's more, this is the future, not the present. What we should be concerned about now is what happened to Wanda in the end. Yes. In video. The witch obviously wanted to take away Wanda's chaos magic. And the appearance of white vision. It made them even more nervous. They knew that Wanda might be in crisis in this battle. The god of thunder heard this, then he sat on his seat again. Watching the video angrily. It's not just them. In the universe, the people watching the video also think so. They had no idea that Wanda was just creating a beautiful world for her and Vision. Just as the author said, disasters would follow one after another. Video continues. When the witch Agatha took Wanda to review the whole process, Wanda's child was kidnapped. The witch finally knew now. It turns out that Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. It is the power to create all things that move spontaneously. The result was disappointing and disdainful to her. Wanda actually used this power to create a small virtual world. Undoubtedly, it is killing a chicken with a bullseye. She wants to take away Wanda's power, but after some fighting Wanda discovers that witches can absorb their own powers, but fortunately, her power is strong enough. Controlling a car, he blasted the witch away. Chapter 68. But just in time. There was another weird sound in the background. Countless people watching the video were shocked in their hearts. They saw a white figure appearing behind Wanda. Really. Just as they thought. White vision is the weapon used by Skyward Sword Bureau to deal with Wanda and Vision. But how does Wanda in the video know? I saw Wanda slowly walking towards Vision. She could feel that this was not an illusion created by her. She asked with a trembling voice, Vision, is this really you? When Wanda asked this sentence. Countless people were so angry that they stamped their feet. I even wanted to get into the video and tell Wanda, fuck. Wanda must have been able to feel that this vision was not created by her, so she thought it was the real Vision resurrected from the dead. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Don't hurt her anymore. She's already pitiful enough. Wanda, come on. He is not your Vision, even if people roar and shout. But what's the use? I saw Wanda looking lovingly at Behuanian in front of her. Just when she thought Behuanian reached out his hand to touch her head. Sudden, Behuanian's hands held her head tightly, and the huge force seemed to crush her head. painful, heartbreaking point. Countless people saw that White Vision's powerful power made Wanda unable to break free. The sound of violins in the music made countless people nervous. Is Wanda going to be killed by White Vision? But just when everyone was worried, a figure flew to Behuaning's side with lightning speed, blasted him away, and saved Wanda. And this figure its Vision. Vision has appeared. Are the couple going to fight together? I'm so looking forward to it. Yes, we can finally see the husband and wife fighting together. Everyone was happy. And the video continues. I saw Vision and White Vision fighting. Hit from the ground to the sky. And when I saw Vision fighting for the world between the two of them. Wanda's eyes were also extremely determined. Then flew to the witch Agatha. The scene changes in the town square. Agatha stood on the roof overlooking Wanda. And also summoned a black book. When people see clearly what this book is, the entire Marvel universe was shocked, because this book is the reward that Doctor Strange received last time. The Book of Darkness. The Book of Darkness. How is it possible? Isn't it a reward from Doctor Strange? It's possible that Doctor Strange's reward, like the Mind Scepter, belongs to someone else. Holy crap. It turns out that the Book of Darkness was also snatched from someone else. Does that mean that other rewards were also snatched from others? But we have never seen other rewards. In other words, these rewards are not from this universe, but from other universes. It turns out that there is more than just our universe. Rather, are there countless parallel universes? Otherwise, how could we not know the origin of these rewards? Boom, boom, boom. The hearts of countless people were beating incessantly. Extremely shocked. They didn't expect it at all. In fact, Doctor Strange's rewards were also taken from others. It's hard not to think of other rewards. For example, Spider-Man's Venom suit, Hulk's chicken charm, etc. It was also taken from others. As for why they don't know the origin, it is very possible that these rewards do not belong to this world, but from other worlds. The thought of this, everyone's brain seemed to have been opened, radiating unlimited thoughts. Even more ecstatic. They had previously learned from Doctor Strange's videos that the universe was vast, and they were just looking at the world from a whole. However, the entire universe is vaster and more terrifying than they imagined. At this time, video continues. The witch Agatha opens a dark book. He said to Wanda with temptation, "The Scarlet Witch is not born. She is trained. She does not have a witch group, and does not need a spell. I'm not a witch. I don't have a group, and no one taught me magic," Wanda retorted vigorously. But Agatha the witch had no intention of stopping. "Your power even exceeds that of the Supreme Mage. Destroying the world is your destiny." When Agatha finished speaking, an ancient bell buzzed in the background music. It's like it's ringing in the ears of countless people. They were extremely shocked. More powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Wanda actually possesses such power. Holy crap. He's actually more powerful than the Supreme Mage. Doesn't that mean he's more powerful than that guy Steven? It's more powerful than the Supreme Mage. How terrifying is that? Now I seem to understand why the Witch is angry. With this kind of magic, she only creates a small world. But Wanda didn't show that kind of power. Maybe you will see Wanda's true power later. I have a hunch. Yes, in the next video, you might be able to see Wanda awakening and becoming the Scarlet Witch. But the witch also said that her destiny is to destroy the world. Countless people are looking forward to it. My heart was pounding. After so much suffering. They want to see Wanda awaken as the Scarlet Witch now. But when they heard the witch's second sentence. It's hard not to feel sad. Because it is these sufferings it makes it easier for Wanda to fall into extremes, destroying the world or something. If she is pushed into a hurry, she might actually do such a thing. They can only pray that Wanda will not do this. "I'm not the kind of person you say in video." Wanda retorted again. But the witch just smiled. Then he cast a spell, causing those controlled by Wanda to wake up one after another. Faced with the pleading of these people, beg Wanda to let them leave the town. Wanda relented. Release endless chaos magic. Tearing apart the barrier she created. And countless people who saw this scene also breathed a sigh of relief. Wanda's heart is still so kind. Yet it was this move. As a result The Xianjian Bureau, which was about to stir up trouble outside, came here with its people. But this is not the biggest crisis. The biggest crisis is save everyone in Westview Town or save the Vision and 2 children she created. Mom, help, please, Wanda, because the barrier was torn apart. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69. It will affect what she creates. I saw the 2 children and Vision's body dissipating like fragments. It was about to disappear without a trace. The background music was also extremely fast, as if it was forcing her to make a choice. The hearts of those who are watching the video are beating again and again to the beat of the drum, and they are full of anticipation. Wanda, what will she do? Boom. The scarlet light beam vibrated and rippled. But it turned into nothingness in an instant. Wanda still chose to stop releasing energy. Close the barrier again. The child and Vision were finally back to normal again. A family of 4 hugged each other tightly. This scene made countless people cry. What Wanda wants is just for a family of 4 to live happily together. But how could the witch Agatha let her go? But the whole space burst. I saw a purple magic beam piercing the sky, containing the power of destroying the world, instantly pierced the sky, and flew in front of Wanda's family of 4 in a flash of lightning. They are about to be attacked. Wanda was seen surging out the energy in her body, creating a scarlet energy barrier, which resisted Agatha's attack. But what countless people didn't expect was this: Wanda's energy is being sucked away by the witch Agatha. See this scene. Countless people's hearts were in suspense. I didn't even dare to breathe. They feel that this witch think Wanda. No matter how Wanda attacks her, she will absorb it and turn it into her own use. People are desperate. Wanda, on the other hand, scoffed. She didn't care if she was the Scarlet Witch. All she wants is to live happily with her family. The scene changes. Wanda and the witch flew into the air. Thunder is rolling and dark clouds are gathering. The scarlet mist is hidden in the dark clouds, which is chaotic and terrifying. Wanda is still fighting Agatha. But as Wanda uses more skills, the energy is lost faster. So in the end, all the energy in the body was absorbed by Agatha, and she was like an old man with wrinkled skin, lost vitality, and suspended in the air. See this scene. The tears of countless people flowed down again. Unexpectedly, Wanda also left like Vision. They are not willing to give in. They think it's unfair. Why? One has chaos magic and the other has the Mind Stone. Why do they have to experience such grief? That's right. Are they going to die just because they have treasures on them? Unfair. Fate is so unfair. Sad. Background music. And people's hearts are even sadder. At first they thought this video was about giving them candy. But I didn't expect the end. He actually used the knife again. Only this time, their last hope was destroyed. Wanda. Countless people burst into tears. I don't even dare to continue reading. But at this moment. Lin Lan's deep voice sounded. Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. She has mastered chaos magic that is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. She has an emotional and kind heart and her own paranoia about love. But her fate is so similar to that of Vision. She is guilty of harboring a treasure. The chaos magic she possesses is what others only dream of. It's just that. Wanda, did he really die like this? Of course not. The real Scarlet Witch awakens. Boom. When Lin Lan's voice changed from low to high. Countless people suddenly raised their heads. Their eyes are glued to the screen. My heart is beating like crazy. There is even a reversal. The sense of anticipation was instantly heightened, and they wanted to know crazily what would happen. At this time. I saw Agatha preparing to release a spell to kill Wanda. Whoops. Only the sound of the wind remains. Alternate to questions group similar to LIU neighbor. No magic power at all. But at this moment. The background music immediately changed from sad to heroic. In the shocked eyes of countless people, Wanda, who looked like an old man, slowly raised her head. Then she saw several huge scarlet spell symbols appearing behind her. Runes, in a specific space. Only magic casting witches can use magic. This is what you taught me, but it's not your turn to tell me who I am. Wanda, said indifferently. Point immediately on the forehead. Point a scarlet crown appears, then a terrifying scarlet energy erupted from her body, swallowing up the sky, the earth, and even all of Agatha's magical energy. Point this was followed by Agatha's wailing voice begging for mercy. Point devour its magic completely, awakened and became the Scarlet Witch, powerful and shining. The scarlet light was extremely dazzling in the sky. Point Wanda is like a god. Aloof. Point countless people watching the video are extremely excited. Point they finally saw it. Wanda awakened and became the Scarlet Witch. At least this way, she could live a stable life with Vision. Point. But what they didn't expect was Wanda held Vision's hand. Point the latter said softly, "It's time." The scene changes. Wanda and Vision's home. Point the two stood by the window holding hands, just like it was when first seen. Point the outer barrier is shrinking rapidly. Point in the eyes of countless people in disbelief. Point Wanda held Vision's face in her hands, telling her feelings about Vision. Point the barrier shrinks accompanied by countless yellow streams of light. Point Vision's body is dissipating little by little. "Goodbye, darling." When Vision said these words, the ending song plays in the background. Point same as the beginning. Point it's a lyrical piano piece. Point when I first heard it, it sounded like a long-lasting love. Point listen now, it is eternal love. The scene freezes at the moment when Vision is about to disappear. Chapter 70. It seems that, as long as it stays here, the Vision will never disappear. Wanda and Vision is officially over. When Lin Lan's voice sounded. Point countless people shed tears. It's hard to calm down. They are still stuck in the story of Wanda and Vision. Dear readers, each of my chapters has almost 5,000 words. Don't say that I updated a few chapters before I put it on the shelves. One chapter only had 2,000 words. Now it has 4 chapters and 20,000 words, which can make up for 10 chapters. This is already the limit for a handicapped person like me, who are 59. The fourth superhero, Thor, moved. Point speechless when the hidden video ends. Countless people were moved and burst into laughter. They never thought about it. Point in this universe. Point there are 2 superheroes who have experienced such misery. One is the Scarlet Witch who possesses chaos magic. Point the other one is Vision who possesses a mind stone. Point despite their terrifying power, but the two of them did not abuse this power. Point on the contrary. Point they just want to spend their lives with each other. Even Vision has prepared a house for the two of them in the future. It just backfired. Point Vision died twice, but after death, he was made into a weapon. Point and Wanda made countless people feel sad. Point I watched my brother die, and I watched my lover die twice, be dismantled, and be used as a weapon. Point even my little wish to create my own world has been destroyed by people racking their brains. How can this not make people feel sad and cry? If you can. Point countless people in the universe want to help her. After all, they really want to see the two of them spend a lifetime together. This dog author is so annoying. Why are you showing this video? I'm about to cry to death. That's right. At first I thought they were giving out sweets, but it gets more and more sad later on. Why does Wanda have to endure so much? What's wrong with using a knife to kill a chicken? She just wants to spend an ordinary life with her lover and children. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. There's even sand in my eyes. It's all because this author edited so well. If it hadn't been for him, why would I have cried? But if he doesn't edit, how could you see such a touching love story? That's right. I'm even more excited now to see what stories the top few will have. I find that the higher the ranking, the more miserable it seems. Hi. It sounds like you are talking about it. I also discovered it. Although the author said that there is no distinction between rankings, it really seems to be like this. How miserable must the people in front be? I can't imagine it anymore. We'll find out tomorrow. It would be great if we had another double edit. That's right. Point countless people are very sad. Point, but in their hearts, they are all grateful to the author. Thanks to the author for letting them see such a touching story. Point, and they are looking forward to it. Point what touching stories will the superheroes have in the future? And I pray that the author can edit the two heroes together again. Point, but when they saw the final scrolling credits they all sighed in frustration. Same. time tomorrow. See you there angry point lost point. But what can they do? In addition to the inventory video point, they don't want to watch other videos on dimensional platform. There are even people who have watched all the videos over a dozen times without getting tired of them. And this kind of behavior has spread throughout the entire dimensional platform point after all. This author named Lin Lan has completely overwhelmed the entire Marvel universe in terms of editing content, level, soundtrack, and vocals, so they are all looking forward to who the fourth superhero is. Camotage point the Avengers, Thor, Loki, Steven and the Ancient One point everyone who watched the video said nothing point he seemed to still be immersed in the sadness just now point they couldn't imagine it point two superheroes in the future will have such a painful experience. They can feel the heartbreaking pain when they watch the video point not to mention Wanda herself, but despite going through so much point Wanda also used her powers to retaliate point instead. She chose to create a small world by herself to make up for her regrets. You humans are really abominable. I didn't expect you to use Vision's remains to make weapons, to kill Wanda and Vision. That's right. You filthy humans. How abominable. Rocky. But Thor is sensitive and delicate point more able to empathize point the sharp blade in his hand. Wanted to directly kill these guys in front of him point. And heard the words of the two people point Tony Stark is out of character no longer looking immodest point he replied very seriously. As you can see, it's the problem of the director of the Xianjian Bureau and has nothing to do with us. And I will go find the two siblings later. Tony choked point although the biggest responsibility for the death of Wanda's parents was the people using Stark Industries weapons, but when he escaped from the Ten Rings gang point he has become responsible and responsible point even stopped cooperation with the military point, so he planned to do his best to protect these two siblings at the very least, let them live a comfortable life first. How do you make up for it? What do you do to make up for it? Now she has received the reward. She has the ability to protect herself. What you have to do now is to help her create the illusion. Thor roared angrily point everyone present was stunned point it's really hard to believe point this sentence actually came out of his mouth point. But point not surprising either in the Hulk video point Thor saw the end of Asgard point since then. There has been a fragile corner of his heart point he is no longer the brave and fearless god of war, but the king who is always worried about his homeland point the story of Wanda and Vision just touches this fragile and soft place point hear the words Tony, Banner and T'Challa looked at each other point. Even if Thor doesn't say it point they will do the same. I swear on the name of the Prince of Wakanda that Wakanda will do everything in its power to help her create Vision. T'Challa said seriously point. But Tony's expression was obviously not good point no wonder Ultron was his creation point he fears a repeat of the past. Don't be afraid, Tony. We can definitely do it this time because the guy with the hammer is right in front of us. Banner said gently point patted Tony on the shoulder point and glanced at Thor point in the video point originally. Everyone was at loggerheads. Chapter 71. Just because of Thor's impulse point the vessel is fully charged point, so Vision can be born point. And hear this everyone seemed to have reached a unified opinion point just to help Wanda and create the illusion. They believe that even if they change the future point, but Wanda and Vision will still be together. Wait a minute. Do you really want to help this witch? Have you forgotten what the Book of Darkness said? The fate of this Scarlet Witch is to destroy the world. And the evil witch in the video just now said that Wanda something was triggered. I guess it must be something bad. Just when everyone reached a unified opinion point Steven's eyelids twitched point holding the Book of Darkness in his hand point clearly surprised by their choice point. After experiencing a low point in life and watching my own videos he has already had the consciousness to become the supreme mage point so when watching Wanda's video, his focus was on the information revealed in the video, not on the love story point he felt that Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch must be a harbinger of disaster. Strange. Now that you know the future, you can change it. What's more, the Book of Darkness is now in your hands. At This time point Master Guyi on the side spoke point even him point. When I saw the Scholar Witch awakening point there was also a bit of shock on his face point. How could he, who draws energy from the dark dimension, not know what this means? Because he just noticed that the Scholar Witch's energy can already modify reality. It will inevitably have an impact on the future point. Just like he said to the Hulk point timelines can also diverge point represents the opening of the multiverse. But it's okay point the dark book is now in Strange's hands. His worries lessened a little. Master, Ancient One. But I'm still very worried. I seem to have seen a more distant future. Do you think there is more than just our universe, Stephen? Strange has been thinking about the dark book in his mind point like the spiritual scepter. All have masters, but the dimensional platform can actually do it point give them rewards in advance from reality or the future point and some of the rewards were something they had never seen before point combined with the barrage point he had already guessed point their universe is just one of countless universes. If other more terrifying cosmic invasions occur, can he, as the Supreme Mage, really protect the Earth? Stephen was consumed with anxiety and worry point and everyone also saw this. I saw my friendly neighbor Peter Parker comforting me softly. Mr. Strange, I think you don't have to worry about the future. Now we just need to continue to expand the members of the Avengers. When disaster strikes, we will face it together. You think so, right? Facing it together? It seems that's right. But I have to become the Supreme Mage quickly. This is the magic you want, but not only as a last resort. You must not use it. As for the reward, we will talk about it later. Stephen gave the magic he had obtained to Thor and Loki point. So I went to the library to read about magic point study hard point. This allowed everyone to see that this arrogant and prejudiced guy had already come to his own realization. Point 0 ask for flowers and after Thor and Loki got magic point also saying goodbye to everyone point prepare to return to Asgard point after all. That's what they do point Tony, Banner, Spider-Man and Chala are preparing to go to Wanda's residence point planning to invite her to join the Avengers. Unexpectedly, there is a traitor in S.H.I.E.L.D. I will deal with it first. At this time point Nick Fury stood up point. Although he was also moved by the love between Wanda and Vision point. But now is simply not the time to be moved point completely sure until now point there are undercover Hydra agents in S.H.I.E.L.D. and it seems to have infiltrated a lot point in the future point maybe it could become Snake and S.H.I.E.L.D. point so now he has to deal with it with thunderous means maybe. We need to find some connections to rectify the Cheyenne Bureau point he doesn't think about. The future point is superheroes were treated like this, so the whole camotage became quiet point Ancient One watch them leave point looking forward to what will happen in the future. Sister, don't cry. You already have the Mind Stone. Just create vision. At this time point the other side point Quicksilver comforted his sister obviously point the video just now made her heart feel as painful as a knife cutting her again point but fortunately there is a spiritual scepter nearby point otherwise she will cry even more. But I can't create the illusion at all. Wanda wiped her tears now she has not awakened as the Scholar Witch at all point there is no power to modify reality like in the video point so there is no way to create an illusion. I heard my sister's words Kuoyin also pursed his lips can't think of a waypoint, but he seemed to think of something and said to Wanda, try an item to the author first and think about the follow up later. At least now you have the power. We no longer have to worry about it. I heard my brother's words Wanda also thought about it point as for what kind of reward should be given to the author. In fact, she had already thought about it point. That is your own chaos magic. Then I'll give you part of my chaos magic. That's right point with or without chaos magic point Wanda's wish is very simple. That is, to spend her life with her lover. So what difference does it make if there is chaos magic or not? So he extracted part of the chaos magic in his body and immediately integrated it into the dimensional platform. And at the same time point doorbell rang point opened the door she saw three figures it was Tostek who created Ultron, the Hulk, and the Prince with Vibranium. Chala, hello. Wanda, we would like to invite you to join our Avengers. Ding. Congratulations to you Lin Lan for receiving a reward from Wanda. Hiss. It's actually chaos magic. The other side point real world point. When the video inventory is over the voice of the dimensional platform also rang. Chapter 72. Lin Lan also received the chaos magic rewarded by Wanda. He could feel a scarlet energy filling his limbs, mobilize and come out. Countless scarlet energy wrapped around his hands contains destructive energy. It was as if the whole room would explode when released. Lin Lan. 70,321,622 over. I good. Very nice. Now he has chaos magic, plus the defensive magic learned from the book of Emperor Wishin. Basically invincible. Backup group bar 9. Feeding Sophomio. Now we finally come to the fourth superhero. Perhaps it's even more sad. After all, this guy lost everything. Even worse than Wanda. Lin Lan edited the fourth superhero overnight. After the editing was finished, I was almost moved to tears. After all, this guy lost not only his brother, not only his parents, but also thousands of his subjects. In the end, he failed to stop Thanos and blamed himself for becoming a fat man. That's right. It's the god of thunder Thor, although in the Hulk video. Twilight of the gods revealed. But no specific reason was given. The reasons for the death of Loki and his parents were not revealed. The entire universe must have seen the truth. They will cry even more miserably than now. So I uploaded the video to the Dimension platform and set up the timing function. The fourth place in the top 10 superheroes. Thanks to the reader's father 51,380 for his monthly ticket. Factory 60. Star-Lord was slapped in the face and Thor panicked. Father, please listen to my explanation. Time passed by minute. The next day soon arrived. Now involution is spreading throughout the Marvel universe. As for what is involved. Of course. Naturally, I waited for the inventory video on the Dimension platform several hours in advance. Nothing else. Countless people have completely stopped watching other videos before that. They all watch what each superhero has experienced, or what they may experience in the future, as if they were watching a show. But after watching the review video of Wanda and Vision. Countless people have been immersed in this sadness. Some people even haven't recovered even after a day. They are no longer looking forward to the inventory video, as if they are just watching the excitement. Instead, look forward to an immersive experience. That's right. After watching so many inventory videos, they found themselves crying and laughing along with the characters in the video. Completely insert yourself into it. It's like I'm the protagonist in the video. So I'm looking forward to this video even more. And there are many questions left in the previous video. For example, where is Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet? Why doesn't Thanos recognize Wanda? They hope to know all these questions in the follow-up videos. Holy area. Asgard. At this time, there was a wailing sound in the hall. Even if they claim to be gods, but this video made them cry. Because they know. In the near future. When Ragnarok comes, they will also die like Vision. Why haven't Thor and Loki come back? I'm about to cry to death. Yeah, we may die even worse than Vision in the future. I don't want to die. 577 Many people are looking forward to the return of the two princes. Even Odin on the throne above could see a little bit of nervousness. I saw him tightly holding the eternal spear in his hand. 1 I looked into the distance with piercing energy. It seems that he is expecting his sons to get that magic brush. At this time. A beam of light shot into the sky. Everyone knows that was the Rainbow Bridge reaction. In an instant, his eyes turned from the dimensional platform to the distance. I saw Thor and Loki arriving here. And dedicated the time magic to their mother, Frigga. Is that the magic that Doctor Strange got? Doesn't that mean we Asgard can be saved? Great. Odin is on top. We Asgard can be saved. People raised their arms and shouted. Even started to celebrate. Call out Thor's name loudly. They are excited because they finally don't have to die. But Frigga's words made them fall from the top to the bottom immediately, like a bucket of cold water poured on their heads. No. This magic cannot be used. Once used, the entire 9 realms will be destroyed. Frigga was terrified. His face was full of shock and despair. After knowing the magic of reversing the absolute point in time. She understood the horror of this dark magic. But the price is even more shocking. Once used. The entire 9 realms might be destroyed along with it. And after everyone heard what Queen Frigga said. Everyone froze in place. Even Thor, who had a bright face, was able to break through his defense in a second. He looked at his mother helplessly and asked desperately, is it really not possible to use it? Queen Mother, he remembered what Steven said, not to use it, unless absolutely necessary. Didn't take it seriously at first. But I didn't expect the Queen Mother to say that the entire 9 realms will be destroyed. Despair, still desperate. The faces of countless people in Asgard were pale and feeble. Even Odin above the throne seemed to have aged countless years. They didn't expect it at all. This black magic actually has such a high price. Even if they reverse this absolute point in time, it is very likely to cause instability or even destruction in the 9 realms. This is not what they want to see. Father, Thor, shifted his gaze from Frigga to Odin. He felt that he had failed Odin. I felt very guilty and uncomfortable. However, Odin shook his head and said calmly, Thor, you have done what a prince should do, but I believe that Asgard will not perish like this. Odin's words suddenly rose high. It seems like he is following the words of the author of Dimensional Platform. Chapter 73 gives people the energy to wake up from a deep sleep. The countless Asgardians who had their heads drooped and fell into despair suddenly raised their heads. Then I heard Odin say, Thor, I believe you will definitely be on the list. Become the new king and change the future. Boom. Hear the words. Thor's heart was beating loudly. There were shocked looks on his face. His father had been strict with him since he was a child. I have never spoken such words of trust in him, but today he spoke. This seems to be an encouragement, but in fact it is a trust. That's right. Thor feels that Odin has entrusted all of Asgard to him. Warm and touching. Thor no longer knew how to answer, but at this moment a voice resounded throughout the entire hall. The author has updated the video. But when this sentence rings out, everyone in the entire hall suddenly raised their heads and looked at the dimensional platform. They are looking forward to who the 4th superhero is. Wakanda. In a laboratory full of ultra modern technology. Almost all the members of the Avengers are gathered here. Nervousness was written on their faces. Are you really sure you created the illusion? Are you really sure? At this time, Captain America asked. Concern was written on his face. Although he is an old antique, although he does not understand current technology. But he would rather trust a human being than a robot. Even though he knew. This psychic scepter can eventually create superheroes, but there is still a chance of creating something like Ultron. Don't worry, Captain. Our technology in Wakanda is ahead of us by who knows how many years. I think we should be able to produce it, Chala said with confidence. And also looked at Wanda aside. Ask her opinion one last time, just to make sure again. Do you want him to be made? Why do you ask this? Because the last video showed Vision's tragic experience. So they were afraid that Wanda would resist all this. As the saying goes, I like flowers, but don't like to see them wither. So in order to avoid the end, we avoid the beginning. Planting flowers. However, Wanda nodded firmly, touched the glass on the vessel, and said sadly, of course, even if I don't understand him yet, if I can fall in love with him once, I can fall in love with him countless times. Yes, that's how love is once its fate. No matter what the journey takes, the two will eventually meet and fall in love. Then, I understand your determination. Leave it to us, Chala nodded. Immediately send the vessel to the laboratory. Let my sister start making the body. Just at this moment. Peter Parker said excitedly, quick. The author has posted a video. When Peter Parker said these words, the latest video also appeared on the screen in the laboratory that was full of money. Xander prison. At this time, the timeline has undergone huge changes. Star-Lord obtained the Cosmic Spirit Ball, the Power Stone, in advance. But because of the fight on Xander. Was imprisoned in this prison. Of course, there is also a green-skinned woman, a raccoon, a tree man and a silly muscular man, and they also gathered together to form a small group. At this time they were sitting in the cafeteria eating. Looking forward to who the 4th superhero is. HMPH. This time, it will definitely be my turn. Just shut up. I think Groot is more reliable than you, Rocket. Raccoon scoffed. And Groot on the side also said what he could only say. But only Rocket Raccoon understands. Look, Groot himself thinks he is better than you, so stop dreaming. Hahaha. Rocket Raccoon held his belly and laughed. Before meeting Star-Lord. He criticized Star-Lord on the barrage. I didn't expect Star-Lord to be so confident, so he came to Star-Lord's side, continued, why don't we make a bet? If you lose, give me more money for selling this cosmic spirit ball. Yes. Deal. I will definitely be on the list. The two reached a happy cooperation point. The video finally started. When the time comes, countless people in the universe clicked the video crazily. They all want to see who the fourth superhero is. I'm extremely looking forward to what kind of story this superhero will have. The video begins with soothing music playing. Countless people saw the picture again, and the gorgeous scene of the universe appeared. Nebulae dotted the quiet space, bringing countless people into a dreamlike state again. At this time the screen zooms in. Countless fragments mixed with the asteroid belt were floating around. It's hard not to think of space wars that often happen in the universe, but at this moment the whole space was shaking. In video ripples appeared in the space. Then a small spaceship caught everyone's eyes, and through the window you can see Star-Lord's face inside the spacecraft. Star-Lord. Yes. Yes. I just said I can be on the list. Haha, you guys are rubbish. Holy crap, it's Star-Lord this time. It's unreasonable. Absolutely unreasonable. That's right. How could it be him? I don't understand. When people see this scene there was a sigh in the universe. They never expected that it would be Star-Lord who appeared this time. How can it be? They need a reasonable, very reasonable explanation. But at this moment Lin Lan's deep and magnetic voice sounded. Next, let's start counting the fourth of the top 10 superheroes. Chapter 74. He is righteous, a god born to be king. He controls thunder and has the power to destroy everything and save the common people at the same time. From a young and energetic prince to becoming the god of thunder step by step, he continues to grow and lose. The thunder and hammer represent his power, and just like his destiny, he is destined to conquer all directions. He is the most divine god, and at the same time a powerful and gentle superhero. Wow. When Lin Lan finished speaking in the prison of Xander, Star-Lord's excited smile just now solidified. My face feels hot. Totally unexpected. This evaluation has nothing to do with him. What thunder? What god was born to be a king? Is this my Star-Lord? In an instant jeers, led by Rocket Raccoon, echoed throughout the prison. Because they had already guessed it. Based on this passage this hero is none other than the Prince of Asgard. Thor. Ha 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 ha, the slap in the face comes too fast. Star-Lord, you have today too. Who said just now that you will definitely be on the list? Ha ha ha, I laughed to death. Not just in prison. The barrage on the interdimensional platform was frantically swiping the screen, mocking Star-Lord. It's reasonable and reasonable. This is reasonable. I feel comfortable. Ha 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 ha. It's so cool. I knew it wouldn't be Star-Lord. It's so cool. Lo. Star-Lord, you also have today. Then, right now. Lin Lan's voice continued, counting the top 10 superheroes. Number 4, Thor. Reason for being on the list: he controls thunder and is the god of thunder. He is powerful yet gentle. He never flinches in the face of the enemy. Even if he keeps losing, he never falls. Until he has nothing left, he is no longer afraid of losing. Overcome obstacles and become the truly most godly god. Asgard. When Thor's name is read in the video, countless people roared and cheered earth-shatteringly. Their new king is really on the list. This video will definitely show the powerful strength of Thor in the future. That's right. He who controls thunder is a real god of thunder. They will definitely see how powerful our new king is. I'm so excited. That's a new king. Everyone in Asgard reveled in excitement. Even Odin and Frigga on the throne breathed a sigh of relief. Even though Odin always believed that Thor could make the list, but it wasn't until the moment of revelation that he felt relieved. He nodded with satisfaction. Said to Thor, after this video, your majesty in the 9 realms has been successfully established. Here, the words of the father. Thor held Mjolnir tightly. His eyes were firm, and he showed a confident smile. And looked at Loki a little proudly. Smiled and said, Loki, just look at my highlight moments. They can definitely show off the powerful power of my god of thunder. The video finally starts and everyone in the universe also felt their blood boiling. I feel that this time, they can enjoy a visual feast of fighting. but when the video starts countless people in the universe are frozen in place. What appeared on the screen was a scene of Thor and a beautiful woman kissing passionately. The background music also played sweet love songs. See this scene. Thor panicked. He said with a pale face, "Father, please listen to my explanation." 61. The queen passed away. Loki, "Father, please listen to my explanation." Silence, speechless, dumbfounded. Countless people in the universe were originally looking forward to seeing the scene where Thor, the god of thunder, was invincible. Because they know that Thor's power is terrifying, so they are all excited. I want to see the bloody scene of real men fighting on the battlefield. Result, at the beginning of the video, show me this. Everyone, at #**. There was a sigh of relief in the universe. Even Thor panicked when he saw it and didn't know what to do. Just now, my father said that he could establish majesty in the 9 realms as a result. The screen was a critical hit at the beginning. Where does this make him put his Thor's face? Thor, is this really you? The pupil of Odin's one eye dilated rapidly. The words were full of shock and confusion. Obviously, he found it unbelievable. When Thor, the god of thunder, heard this, he quickly shouted injustice. "Father, I really don't know this person." When Thor spoke, no one in the main hall believed him. Instead, they looked at him with strange eyes. Some even sighed. "It's over. It's over. No matter how I explain it, it seems useless." Thor panicked. To be honest, he really didn't know that person. But no one seems to believe him. So he looked at the dimensional platform with a resentful look and whispered, "Dog author, don't let me catch you." Video continues. Sweet. Soft and waxy. Some straight men saw this scene. They all closed their eyes. The image of Thor in their hearts seemed to be completely destroyed in this moment. However, just when they thought this scene would last for a while, snapped, a crisp slap sounded. I saw that the scene was no longer the Asgard just now. It seems more like the Earth. When this woman slapped Thor, countless people's jaws dropped. Pupils dilate dramatically. How dare a mortal give the king of Asgard a crisp slap? So spicy. I like. Ha 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 ha. I feel like Thor's face has been completely humiliated. That's it. Thor can't 09. This woman is so hot. I like it. Countless people are watching the fun. Thor himself looked at Odin and Frigga tremblingly. It was obvious that his face was completely lost in these few seconds. But at this moment, chapter 75. Video continues. There were many police officers around. To arrest them for trespassing on private property. However, the moment the police touched Jane, a terrifying energy shock wave erupted from her body, knocked the surrounding police and vehicles away. What happened? Countless people are curious. Is this woman not a mortal? The scene changes. Just when countless people want to know what secrets this woman has, Thor has brought Jane to Asgard. After discussing with Odin, I learned that there is a special substance in Jane's body, other particles, and it also has a name. That's the reality stone. Boom. When countless people saw this scene, my heart is beating like crazy. Although they all knew that Thanos had collected 6 gems, but this was the first time they learned about the reality stone in a video. Since that 1000-year battle. No one has ever seen the reality stone. They are looking forward to it and want to know what kind of disaster the reality stone will cause. I don't blame these people for thinking so. The previous videos were usually related to the Infinity Stones all caused quite a disaster just when everyone was speculating. Boom. A loud noise awakened countless people from their speculation. The background music also became extremely tight at this moment. The people watching the video felt a sense of crisis, as if something big had happened. The camera gradually zooms out. No longer focused on Thor. Instead, look in the direction of the Rainbow Bridge. I saw countless slender spaceships invading Asgard with extremely powerful pressure wherever they went. Astonishing explosions resounded one after another. Countless fires shot into the sky, and the shockwaves exploded in layers, instantly annihilating the tall buildings made of special materials and turning them into countless pieces. The stone dust and sand dissipate from the sky, and some people who are familiar with history have recognized who these spaceships belong to. Dark Elf Army. That's right. They are the Dark Elves who tried to turn the universe into darkness 1000 years ago. If Odin's father hadn't led the army to stop it, I'm afraid the entire universe will plunge into darkness forever. How is that possible? Why did the Dark Elf army appear again? Why? Can they enter? Where is Asgard's energy barrier? Countless people are extremely anxious. There are many questions under the dual stimulation of visual impact and background music. Every nerve in them was tense. Crazy to know what happened. I saw the screen change. A strange looking monster wearing armor invaded the dungeon and released the prisoners imprisoned in Asgard. But what countless people didn't expect was this. As if it knew the way, this monster came to the energy barrier control center and destroyed it. Wait. Why does he know the energy barrier control center is here? Why do I feel like it knows the way? Impossible. It's impossible for the Dark Elves to know, unless there is a traitor in Asgard. Countless people clenched their fists. They have guessed that someone in Asgard should have told this monster it's just because the video is not edited. They didn't know who it was. I have to keep this question in my mind and look forward to the author's explanation in the future. Video continues. Along with the energy barrier cannot be opened normally. Countless Dark Elf army warships invade Asgard. In one fell swoop, Asgard suffered huge casualties. Malekith, the leader of the Dark Elves, invaded Odin's temple, cleared away the guarding holy soldiers, and found Jane and Queen Frigga in a palace. At this time, the background music suddenly became sad. It caught countless people off guard. He even vaguely guessed that something bad would happen. Because the other particles are in Jane's body. So the Dark Elves are here for her. No, are we going to see the same tragic experience as Wanda and Vision again? Please, don't kill Jane. Thor finally fell in love with someone. Don't use the knife. Don't use the knife. I have no other wishes. Just as countless people prayed that Jane would not experience the same misery as Vision. The result is something that countless people did not expect. Queen Frigga stood up and successfully subdued Malekith, but the monster called the Cursed Warrior suddenly appeared and stabbed her in the abdomen. Silence. Speechless. The faces of countless people watching the video are full of shock and disbelief. They never expected it. This time it wasn't Jane who died. But Queen Frigga. The background music was even sadder and desolate, and everyone's heart was severely pinched. You know Queen Frigga is famous in the universe. She is gentle, dignified, beautiful and generous, and has extraordinary temperament. Loved by many. However, she is such a holy and flawless queen. He actually died in the hands of the Dark Elves. Sad, not willing to give in. How could they accept this fact? Queen Frigga died like this? I don't accept it. I don't understand it. Why do all the people I like die one by one? How could the queen, whose beauty should last forever and shine throughout the 9 realms, die like this? The universe is extremely desolate. Not to mention Asgard. At this time on the throne. The pupil of Odin's one eye dilated rapidly. Hold the eternal spear tightly. The body released an extremely strong energy shock wave uncontrollably, causing extremely terrifying pressure and shaking the hearts of everyone in the hall. Their hearts were pounding. He clenched his fists so hard that blood almost oozed from his palms. They never imagined that the queen would die like this. I'm going to kill him. I saw the god of thunder roaring angrily. The whole sky was covered with dark clouds and there was lightning and thunder. Killings overflowed, flooding the entire Asgard. Even Loki on the side. He also clenched the dagger uncontrollably. He loves his mother deeply. Who do you want to watch die the most? That must be Frigga. But now she is really dead. Who on earth? Who told that monster? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.